Friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we?
We're going to give people a few more seconds here.
Hey, Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we?
Introducing custom t-shirts.
At thedumbshow.com.
Yeah, ready on 3, 2, 1.
Matt and Mike in the morning. A Don't Unfriend Me production. 20 years combined working in intelligence for multiple agencies. Up to the minute current events, news, geopolitics, and a no bullshit attitude. The best part of waking up is whiskey in your cup. And Matt and Mike in the morning.
Makes us sound like alcoholics.
It does, but I mean, if it makes it taste good.
Tuesday and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. The Odd Couple. Matt and Mike in the morning.
Screw Hillary. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. That's the way every morning should start. Screw Hillary. I need a little bit more light on the dome here.
Kevin, thank you for the Good Morning Vietnam. That's how every day should start.
Good
I appreciate it.
Good morning, Vietnam. Dude, we look like a t-shirt store in this mofo this morning.
I mean, when you have stuff like this, you gotta wear it.
You're a big dude. You know that? You're a big dude.
I like tacos. So.
No, well, just a big. I'm a big guy. Like, you're a big guy. Who's the big guy? I'm the big guy. You're the big guy.
Well, if you want to be real, half guy.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, like, just in screen. But of course, my camera's back a little bit further than yours. But I mean, it's not like I can't achieve the same thing. Like. We could do this. Who's the big guy? I'm the big guy. You're the big guy. I'm the big guy. You're the big. I'm the big guy. We could do this all day long, but we're not going to do that. The point is that our cameras are a little disproportionate, and realize I got to move that back a little bit. It doesn't matter. Welcome to the Matt and Mike show. Good morning. Fantastic. Did you watch the debates last night, Mike?
I caught a little bit of them. Obviously, I had hockey and stuff last night. Caught a little bit of the show, and and this is the problem. The debates for me now. We're going to start already? We're going to start already.
Holy shit. I just asked a question if you saw the debate. Go ahead, please. Enlighten us.
The debates already feel like they're trying to get positions within Trump's cabinet or auditioning for a VP rather than going for president. Like, that's just how it feels right now. That, yes, I know that you have Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis that are probably going to be at the top of that. But with Trump, you're literally just going for second place or first loser. So to me, it's just not as heartfelt or...
Yeah, because I don't think political debates, heartfelt is the word.
I said that. Heartfelt's not the right word.
More like heart-wrenching.
Yes.
It's not as it seems disingenuous for them to sit up there and pretend that any of them are going to be the RNC nominee.
There you go. That's a better way to put it.
Well, that's why it's the Matt and Mike show, not the Mike and Matt show. So it does. I mean, it's extremely fake. But listen, I don't necessarily believe that. I think this is Trump's to lose, but the possibility of Trump losing this is a reality. He gets an obstruction charge they get any of these felonies to stick, and that completely changes the conversation, where it certainly may not stop him from running for president, but it very well could stop him from running on the RNC ticket. Listen, this isn't cheap, Mike. They're spending millions.
Oh, yes.
Millions of the war chest to do these debates.
Mm-hmm.
And after all of these, and this is just to see who makes the cut. These aren't even the primary debates. You have to have the head-to-head debates with the Republican nominees, and Donald Trump's going to be invited to this.
Mm-hmm.
But if he shows, who knows? So at some point, he's going to have to either face DeSantis or Haley or not. And that there's a lot of money in this. So they've spent tens of millions of dollars on these events right now so far. So what are they investing in?
That's a wonderful question. What are they investing in?
Well, they're investing in a case that they're trying to get people known to America just in case Donald Trump can't run. And let's be honest, there's a few things that could make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, God forbid, I don't want anything bad to happen to Donald Trump's, but we're going to go down the dark side. He could have a stroke. He could have a heart attack. He's at that age. The guy works ungodly hours, and Adderall pumping into your system that often is not
good for the heart.
It's not good for the heart. I hate to say it, but let's be honest. And if anyone thinks, and I don't know if Donald Trump's on Adderall, I know people like Dave Portnoy. I know people like Rudy Giuliani. I know people who need some sort of influence to keep them centered, and what Donald Trump, his energy level is so off the charts, it wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the first time people said Don Jr. Don Jr. is an Adderall candidate. I don't know, and I'm not here to create rumors. I'm just saying, even without Adderall, the guy is a complete energy-driven human being, and I got to give him credit. I do the same thing. A lot of people would say Matt's on Adderall. Matt's on at 0400, 0500. He's up. You're texting me at 05. By the way, I don't answer anything before 07.
Oh, I know.
I know.
I just send him out so I don't forget him.
No, I knew. I saw it. I saw it at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I don't answer shit. My phone, I just do my lift and, shit, shower, shave, eat my breakfast, whatever. But okay, I'm done beating that horse. I'm not here to say that Donald Trump is on Adderall. My point is that high energy, high drive, this guy has it, and it's not something that's common in people his age. It's just not. He is a very unique human being when it comes to that. And I know at 50, I got to have a little something in my body to keep me going. And whether that's hormone replacement therapy, which I participate in, or whether so do you, or whether it's taking something to keep the mind right, whether it's herbal or whatever, you got to do what you got to do. So there's no judgment here. The point is that it's not good for your heart. There's a few other things. How many 6'4", 5" guys do you know that are supposedly 225?
Yeah, okay.
Listen, I'm 6'4" and 225, okay, and I'm in pretty decent shape.
I'm 4'3" and I'm 210.
Right.
So don't even tell me.
So Donald Trump, come on, bro. Right? We got your back, but we're not going to lie for you. So how many 6'4", 270 plus geriatrics do you know? I can't think of one. I want you to think of people who are 80.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I know
I'm
not, listen, I know I'm going to die between 75 and 85. I know that for a fact. I'm not going to live till 100. There's no fucking way. Pardon my French. There's no way. I'm too big. I'm 6'4". I'm 225. It's not that my heart will go out. I'm in good shape. I'm going to go out and run 3 miles right now, and I'll come back, and my pulse will be 135. That has nothing to do with it. You don't believe that?
Well, see, this is one of those, I'm just thinking for me, is like I have been way too hard on my body that and I've always told my wife this, if I make it to 50, I'll be happy.
Well, I don't think that that's the case. I think that's a little too much. I know the mileage thing, but I think you're going to live a long and fruitful life. You better, because I actually like you, and there's not many people who make that list. My point is that big guys don't usually, you don't see them walking in the grocery store with a cane. You just don't. You don't see the 6'5", 85-year-old. It's very rare. So the bigger you are, the harder your heart has to work, and eventually that sucker's going to go out. So I'm going to die younger than I would want. But I think my dad was in that range. I think he was 78. My grandfather was roughly the same age. So I'm fighting against time, right? I mean, that's 28 years left. That's enough. I think I'll be ready to kick the mortal coil at 28 years. When I got to start gumming my food, and then I got to consider, do I really want to go have a bowel movement this morning? Because the process is going to be very, very painful in the sense that I'm going to be there for at least an hour because I got to sit down and I got to get back up. You know what? I'm just going to let it hold. I'll face it tomorrow.
See, at that point, just take me out back.
That's right. Put one in the back of my head.
Let it be during deer season. Let me go out, see some deer.
Yeah.
And whoops, you got the wrong one.
Right. You want to pull a Dick Cheney, right?
Yeah. So, Dick Cheney, just a little better.
But don't miss.
Don't
Don't use birdshot, right? So please don't shoot me in the face with birdshot. So this is the long way around the barn. My God, did we just spin down this? I did. This has nothing to do with you. It's my fault. You're aiding and abetting, though. I mean, you really are. You keep feeding me. So.
Do I feed you? No, I'm pretty sure.
If you're sure, you just say it, just for this prosperity's sake. Okay. So Donald Trump, heart. You got to worry about that. You got to worry about age. The average life expectancy for a man his age is like what, 82 years old or 75 years old is for his age when he was born, 75. Well, that's a concern, right? So you got to worry about that. You also have to worry about things that Tucker Carlson has been talking about, that Dan Bongino's been alluding to, is that if they can't stop him by judicial means, if they can't stop him by legislative means,
he's going to get Hillary Clinton.
Right, he's going to fall on some bullets, like the Hillary Clinton's cocktail special. Hillary Clinton, if you say anything bad about Hillary, somehow you just fell on some bullets. Oh, look at this guy. He got shot 6 times. It looks like he fell on some bullets.
It's just like a Russian retirement. Or a Russian suicide.
Right,
you shoot yourself 14 times and jump out a window.
He's going to be sleeping with the fishes, see? So
it's an automatic suicide.
So semi-automatic, because automatics are, it's a full semi-automatic with a clip. So Donald Trump, he's facing some things here, man. And a lot of people are like, Matt's sniffing. It must not be Adderall. It must be cocaine. I have allergies. Everyone always talks about this. I'm always, and I know those guys. I worked in retail sales and I worked in commercial sales, so you don't have to tell me when a guy's on coke. First of all, that person's like, and they're going to, and I do go 170 miles an hour, but I'm not like I have other gears. Anyway. Art Silva from Pacesetters Windows. If you live in New Mexico now, I'll tell that story, but you know who you are. So you got to worry about that with Trump, right? So the RNC is worried about that. But most importantly, I think the RNC is hedging its bets. I think they know that there's a very good chance that he doesn't make the ticket for one reason or another. So they're putting these candidates. DeSantis was the pick. DeSantis didn't want to run in 2024. He had no desire. Nobody wanted to run against Trump. But 2028 was supposed to be his year. And that's why he seems so lackluster. I mean, just look at this picture right here that I have paused. It really answers 1,000. Just look at his face.
This guy's why am I here?
Why am I here?
Yep.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. He doesn't want to be doing this right now. He has no desire to be doing this right now. And you can tell by his overall investment into the process. So DeSantis was that person, just like Gavin Newsom was a possibility for Biden. Biden's old. Biden's chances of seeing tomorrow, let alone a year away from now, with another year's worth of stress, with a war on the horizon, with numbers that absolutely suck, and that the only platform that's worse than the Republicans, is the Democrats, because the only thing they have is abortion. Listen, how desperate are our parties that Republicans don't know who they are and Democrats know who they are, and their whole sole motivation is murdering children? Wow. What options do we have as Americans to choose those two parties?
And all I know is I hope that Biden's doctors are amazing so he can make it through this year, so we never have a Kamala coming up.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine his ass? And not that you should, but how many shots this guy gets? I mean, it's just,
I know for a fact that they have to pump him up on so many different kind of drugs just to keep him awake and semi-coherent.
Have you seen him walk?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I just see the videos of all the compilations to where him falling over crap and falling into stuff like that's
just the goose stepping, man. I mean, this guy.
If I can walk better than you, there's a problem,
right? Like Mike is great. Mike should go on with Dancing with the Stars versus Joe Biden.
Please, yeah, okay.
It's well, think about, you just want a chick who's 6'2" and extremely hot, and you'll be in the perfect position when dancing with her.
That's fair. Get a little two-step.
I mean, see,
it'll work out.
Listen, I've never had sex with an amputee, but I'm assuming it must be awesome because you're ready to go. You're right there. You're head level. I mean, you're set. You're just foreplay. Wife's like, I don't know. I'm kind of, and you're like, I'm right here.
I feel like this show's going to end early and Matt's going to ask for some things because this Navy's going to come out.
Please.
We're going to do a quick show, guys.
Dude,
Thanks.
like I would need to beg. So it comes down to this, is that the RNC is putting positions in place for safety nets. That's all this is. But I think there's a surprise here, and we're going to watch a little bit of the debate recap, and we'll put that video on. But there are some surprises coming out of this, and I think Nikki Haley is a big surprise. I think if you go and look on Twitter, and you look at who won the debate, everyone's like Vivek. I don't know why we have to pronounce his name. I called him last night Baklava Shawarma. Baklava Shawarma. So Baklava Shawarma was, and this isn't a racial thing. He's just a dick. So just want to let you know, this has nothing to do with race. First of all, baklava, it's not extremely Muslim, so relax. And he's what, Indian? Is he Indian?
I believe so.
Pakistani? Who cares? It's all the same. He's Mexican. So he's is that, you can't say that. Is that wrong? Okay. Yeah. So Facebook, sorry for the strike. Won't happen again. That's a Texas thing. You know that's a Texas thing.
Oh, yes.
Like, where is he from? Is he from Israel? Is he from Pakistan? Is he from Honduras? He's Mexican. Because when you don't know, that's what you say in Texas.
And I still don't get, because granted, I didn't see the whole debate, and I got some of the highlights. If they're saying he won, it's only because he was going after the media and pulling all the same fake news crap instead of actually putting out a decent, coherent plan.
Well, that's okay. So that's something we're going to have to talk about.
Okay.
And we're going to have to hit that in a sec.
Okay.
Because that's a whole nother topic. I need to get to the same size as you. It's driving me crazy. I literally feel like I'm just like, we are the lollipop kids, the lollipop kids, the lollipop kids. All right. So now that we've established, first of all, everyone's like, baklava. Don't insult baklava.
Oh, baklava is amazing.
First of all, baklava is flaky and nutty. And that sums up Ramaswamy. I stole that from a user. Somebody said that last night. So he's an Indian Hindu. Okay. One of the greatest lines ever in a movie is the ref. And Kevin Spacey and his wife are talking about how he closed the restaurant and he gave up too soon. And she's like, at least I don't give up on my dreams. And he's like, when the New Yorker reviews your restaurant and recommends it to Hindus looking for a good night of fasting, you close your doors. If you're a Hindu looking for a great night of fasting, this is a restaurant for you. That's priceless.
Just what you want.
All right. So here's what we'll do. We're going to watch the video. We've got quite a few on. It's good to see everybody this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Matt and Mike Show. We started kind of...
We flip-flopped it.
We did it the right... Listen, we should be on the radio. I mean, this is a radio show. I finally realized this is a radio show.
I do have a face for radio, so... that it works out.
You have an ass for radio too. so do I. Don't have an ass. I mean, that you have any ass is. I mean, you literally had it blown off, and you have more of an ass than I do, which isn't.
But that's because my legs help prop it up a little bit.
Just saying, it's. I don't want to talk about your ass. Like this is like a surface level joke. One layer was good enough. You don't need to go deeper. Literally.
I can't. It happens.
That's so. Just saying. This is a radio show, and this is like all the radio shows I heard that didn't have an edge in the 80s and 90s. It didn't matter whether it was big hair band radio or political or sports radio. That's what this show feels like. And I realized it is that they don't do shows like this anymore. You don't get this type of show. You don't, and I don't know if it's still popular or not. We're going to find out. I mean, it seems to be doing fine, but this is definitely a radio show. Let's watch the video of the highlights, and this will give you an idea. If you didn't watch the debate last night, you'll get a bird's eye view of what took place.
Someone better make a meme of that shot right there. That was amazing.
It is, and it really describes why DeSantis is just not in it to win it, so to speak. Here it is.
Governor DeSantis, let me begin with you on this one. Speak to Republican voters who are supporting Donald Trump. Why should you?
Dude, we're floating. Dude, we should just do the finger poke and clean out his ears. Just do the. It gets so confusing. It's like trying to fly. Have you ever used video game controls and somehow they get inverted? And you're like your gun. It's like every time you see somebody, you're like you're down on their feet. Son of a, they're inverted. All right, here you go.
Not him be the Republican nominee to face Joe Biden a year from now.
Now, if you look where we are now, it's a lot different than we were in 2016. And Donald Trump's a lot different guy than he was in 2016. He owes it to you to be on this stage and explain why he should get another chance. He said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing.
You know, everybody wants to talk about President Trump. Well, I can talk about President Trump. I can tell you that I think he was the right president at the right time. I don't think he's the right president now.
We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It's a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over.
Listen,
I'm just selling my book. That's what I'm doing.
If you're Indian and you have to tan because
is he tanning?
He's tanning. I'm just letting you know this guy sits in a tanning bed.
I'm not looking at guys like that. Like that's
listen, I notice things because see, in intelligence, we do more than just shoot people with a rifle.
Oh, is that what?
That's what you guys do, right? That's the only thing you guys understand is green crayons, creases, and shooting people.
Me pull trigger, go boom.
Me pull trigger, go boom. You can break in case of emergency. Hi, you going to work? All right, beautiful. I love you. You look sexy. Love you. Have a good day at work. You gonna kiss? I'm sure it had something. Was it something about?
When you guys were talking about when you're gonna die, it's like you can time traveler's wife it.
We can time travel what?
I would have to see that movie to understand. Time Traveler's Wife. I'd have to see that crap to understand your reference. I've never watched that shit in my life. I love you, but I don't love you that much to watch Time Traveler's Wife. What? Is Rachel McAdams nude in it? No. I'm not going to watch it. Rachel McAdams is smoking hot, but unless she's nude, listen, Rachel McAdams is okay. You know who's better is
Me?
Your wife? Yeah, there.
Yeah.
You go.
Besides,
how deep of a hole do we want to go this morning?
Besides that is who's the Jewish lady? What?
Natalie Portman?
No. Natalie Portman's
Does anyone
cute.
have a shovel?
Just stop. The Mummy. The Mummy.
Oh.
Mummy.
Come on.
Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. Yeah. If you would have said Rachel Weisz, you would have had me at hello.
Oh, I'll tell you about it.
Rachel Weisz is the prettiest woman on the
Imagine
planet.
Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams.
Oh, I heard about that movie. I heard they kind of, it gets a little,
I haven't seen it.
You know what? That's one we should watch. Let's just go ahead and watch that. Let's put that on the books tonight. Listen, that's just kind of like the whole thing that you can write a thesis on that. Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz in the same movie. That's interesting. They're lesbians in the movie, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll have to watch that.
Oh, now Matt's in.
Just for research and prosperity's sake. Love you, sweetie. Good night. All right. So now that we've established that, Rachel Weisz is hot, though. I'm just saying. Have you ever seen The Mummy?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser? Yeah, she's just smoking.
See, in this problem, I have names are hard.
Lot of things are for you.
Yes.
No offense.
Rachel McAdams. What other movie was she in? So
she was in. One that I haven't seen, but I know she's in. She's in The Notebook.
Okay. I actually have seen
Reddish
The Notebook.
hair.
Yep.
You saw the.
Yes, I've seen The Notebook.
What the is wrong with you?
lot
You
is wrong with
willingly
me.
were you
know
trying
this.
to get laid? Were you courting your wife? What happened? Why? Let's stop the presses. Vivek,
Hold the phone.
hold on. Baklava Shwarmy is looking at you like
What?
his comment on his face is, "You watch the fucking Notebook, so you better answer him."
Yeah, I have. I've
Well,
watched it
why
with my
did-
wife, 100%. There's
You
things that
you were
gotta do.
already married?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They took more than your legs. They took your spirit.
Yes, dear.
You're a broken puppy.
Yes, dear.
I watched The Notebook too. The ending drives me crazy. It's such a great, it really is a great movie. It's a great love story. And then, oh, I love you, I miss you. And then they go and die together. Oh my, it's just like, dude, I don't want to watch two old people die. It's just, come on. It's too, just the last part of it really got me down. And then could you find two better looking old people too? Because I couldn't connect with them. I'm like, there's no way that James Garner looks like that after looking like that. And there's no way Rachel McAdams looks like that after looking like that. And that kind of turned me up. I mean, couldn't find two old people who are about to die and make them look a little bit better?
Do we need to do a parody on The Notebook with us too?
I think we should.
I
think we're not doing Brokeback Mountain, that's for sure. All right, let's listen to Vivek. Here we go.
Chairwoman of the RNC in 2017. We have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party.
As President of the United States, what would you be urging Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do at this moment? Governor DeSantis.
Kill them all! Yeah!
I love all of these guys. Like, oh yes, I would tell them to do this. How
Yeah.
about as the U.S. we shut the hell up?
Yeah.
We allow them to do what we need,
Yep.
and they will tell us if they need something.
That's it.
Other than that,
Yep.
shut up.
That's right.
And get out of the way.
That's right.
It's-
That's a
it's
good
not
answer.
that hard.
It's kind of Haley's answer. So she did well last night. Here it is.
Once and for all with these butchers, Hamas.
The last thing we need to do is to tell Israel what to do. The only thing we should be doing is supporting them and eliminating Hamas. It is not that Israel needs America. America needs Israel.
Israel has the right and the responsibility.
Why is he always doing the OK white supremacy symbol? I mean, I'm just white power, I'm just the W and then the P. I mean, I told you he tans, so maybe that's the giveaway. He definitely fake bakes.
Oh man.
Defend itself. I would
Which one do you think he goes? Do you think he goes to a public bed or has his own bed?
Oh, if with the amount of money he has, he's got to have his own.
He's got to have his own bed. I mean, Big Pharma pays well, right?
It does.
I mean, not all of us had our college paid for by George Soros. So, I mean, with that savings and also the fact that he's Big Pharma, who is in support of COVID restrictions, you know, he's probably doing fairly well to have his own tanning bed. What do you think? Maybe?
Oh, 100%.
By the way, dickhead, your United States flag is crooked. Get your shit straight. Fix your line. Come on, look at that. There's a few things from the military that obviously Mike and I don't care about. One is appearance, but you know what? I don't wear wrinkled T-shirts. Okay, I don't frickin' not respect my gig line when I'm tucking in a shirt and I do have one. Have some self-respect and fix your crooked United States flag. I'm sorry.
It's so sad how many times that I can look and it's like, oh, gig line every time. Like they beat it into you so much.
Gotta have your gig line straight.
And it's been 11 years since I've been out and I still cannot.
Yeah, me neither.
Like I eat too fast. The freaking gig lines, like there's so many things like
you saw I eat breakfast
real good.
You've seen me eat breakfast now like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take?
If it's over 3 minutes, there's something wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I hold the same standard with sex. So
and that's 2 minutes of undressing.
Right, and I like eating. So I don't
smoke those terrorists on his southern border. And
smoke those terrorists.
All right, Clint Eastwood.
All right, easy, Josie Wales. Come on now, slow down there. Jeez, go ahead, make my day. Come on,
we're back at the OK Corral here.
Dude,
like,
all right, Clinton, you're having a showdown. Get out here, you cowboy son of a bitch. I'm going to smoke that wagon. Go ahead. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens. What is he, Kurt Russell from Tombstone? What a putz.
tell him as President of the United States, I'll be smoking the terrorists on our side.
Yeah, in a gay snuff film. I mean, come on. This guy. Like this guy, what is he? He's a broker. What does he know about? I'm going to smoke that terrorist.
I'm going to tell the real guys, go smoke them. And I'm going to have no idea what they're doing.
I'm gonna just remember that commercial. You don't remember it. You're too young. But I'm gonna wash that gray right out of my hair. It was a commercial about women's hair coloring back in my day. He's gonna smoke those terrorists. He should do an infomercial.
Was it a color TV when they had that?
No.
It was still black and white.
And no, and the ball was still square.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, it was. Yes.
And what is Biden doing? Not only is he not helping the Jewish students who are being persecuted, he is launching an initiative to.
So first things first, Ron DeSantis, I don't mean to knock on you, and I guess this has now become a fashion show. Learn how to tie a tie. Learn how to tie a tie. I don't know what's going on, but it's dirty up in the top left-hand corner, and you can see this. And I want you just to take a look at Baklava Shawarma's tie and how much better his tie is compared to yours.
That so-called is for being what is Biden those terrorists on his southern border.
Okay, now that's a tie.
That's a good double.
He's got a double. That. He's got a dimple in the tie. It's not curled over underneath, which means he didn't finger it and through the process, thumb it through the process. You tie it loose, okay, and then you cinch once you're situated. But Ron did the opposite. He cinched, and then he went and adjusted his collar. There's a basic process to this. Vivek has put on a tie before. DeSantis, obviously, is still working on it.
Are you a double or a single Windsor guy?
I'm a single.
You're single?
Yeah, but I have a big neck, so I can't wear a double. I have an 18-inch neck, dude. So you and I are broad-shouldered guys. You got to be in the same boat as me. You got to wear, what, an 18 and a half?
I can't tell you the last time I actually wore a tie,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Me neither.
That's a wonderful question.
But I'll tell you, anybody who lifts weights regularly, ties are not your friend. Neither are collared shirts because you get a 19 or an 18 and a half neck, but then your arms are like 42s, and you basically look like the guy outside of a used car place. That's you got to
dance like that. It's pretty good.
That's what I do. Thanks so much. All right, let's watch this.
And then I'll tell him as president of the United States.
I'm going to smoke him.
No, it's the anti-Semitism that's spiraling out of control.
Right. Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that
White
has
power.
banned 11 opposition parties. It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm.
That's because they're Soviets.
Well, wow, Russians did what? So we're going to talk about this, and this is one of the only highlights of Vivek Shawarma's night. He crushed the Zelenskyy topic. We'll talk about it, and I know Mike is salivating.
Not democratic. It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. It has celebrated a Nazi in its ranks, the comedian in cargo pants, a man called Zelenskyy, doing it in their own ranks. That is not democratic.
I am telling you, Putin and President Xi are salivating at the thought that someone like that could become president. They would love to.
They did the same with the little puppet in office right now.
Driving Russia into China's hands because of these foolish policies.
TikTok is not only spyware, it is polluting the minds of American young people all throughout this country.
Yeah.
And they're doing it intentionally.
In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
I want you to go ahead first of all, and then I want you to watch DeSantis's face, because DeSantis looks like he is a child who is caught between his parents.
He's just like,
no, you got to watch his face. But go ahead. What was your comment?
So this is what I cannot stand about this crap. If you want to go after them, their politics, past decisions, or things that they have done, absolutely, like, people have to stand up to their record.
Yeah.
As soon as you start attacking their family, you know that you can't beat them. So you're doing everything in your power to try to get a knock on them and be like, oh, look, this is why she shouldn't be it. Like, her daughter is an adult. She can make a decision on her own.
Yeah.
But why the F are you going after somebody's family? Like, that is a line that you should not cross. And just a simple fact, like, that's where you need to be punched in the fucking face. Like, this is ridiculous.
She kicked his ass. She kicked everyone's ass. I don't care what anyone says. She crushed that debate last night. And anyone that says she didn't, I already established on the show last night, there's something else going on in your head, because there was one clear person who actually looked presidential, and she was it. We'll go over our overall synopsis of what we think happened and didn't happen, but let's watch the rest and we'll see. But watch DeSantis's face right here. Just lock onto his craw. Watch this.
Debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter.
Did you see him? He's like,
He's
listen to this fucking guy. Oh man,
all he needed to do was just back up a couple of steps and she'd be like,
yeah,
good luck.
Listen, honey, can I have my balls and my spine that are in your purse? Can you
Yes.
give them to me? I'm going to need them right now. So good luck.
Your voice.
Adult daughter.
I said the line for her because she's like, you leave my daughter's voice out of your mouth or something. Hold on a second. Let's hear what she said exactly because it was very confusing.
My daughter out of your voice.
Leave my daughter out of your voice. What that was very Will Smith-ish. So what she should have said was, you know what? Actually, I'm better than Will Smith, so I'm going to let that one slide. That's what he should have crushed him. But
that would have been
it's
a
all
good
right.
one-liner.
She tried. What she wanted to say was, you leave my wife's name out of your mouth. Whoosh. But didn't. But it was good. She handled it fine. But she was pissed. I mean, you could tell the cat nails wanted to come out on him.
Yes.
The next generation of Americans are using it.
As much as I'm pro-life, I don't judge anyone for being pro-choice.
This was the best answer of the night. This is what I said. The reasons why Republicans lost so poorly was not because of Roe v. Wade going back to the states, because I think a lot of people that was kind of baked into the pie. We saw this during 2022. We had that impact. It was right before the midterms. So I don't think that was it. I think it's been Republicans using this as carte blanche to go ahead and enforce their will against the states and the people who don't agree with banning abortion outright. And you can, that's fine, but you're in the minority. And the people who think unfettered access up until the time of birth are also in the minority. There is a middle ground here, and nobody's talking about it. The right went to the ultra extreme of this situation. The left went to the ultra extreme of this situation. The left sold it better, and the Republicans did nothing to expose the liberals' lies, and this is why we lost. Nikki Haley has an amazing grounded and based platform on this that every Republican should take her and put her on if you were not going to make her VP, if you're not going to put her in the cabinet, then you have her write policy on what Republicans should say when it comes to abortion, because this is the answer of the night.
And I don't want them to judge me for being pro-life. So when we're looking at this, there are some states that are going more on the pro-life side. I welcome that. There's some states that are going more on the pro-choice side. I wish that wasn't the case, but the people decided.
We need a 15-week.
That's an amazing thing right there. Like, hey, this is a country of different values, different ideals.
Go figure.
And you leave it to the lowest form of government to make decisions for the people, for those that you elected.
That's right.
And if a state decides that whatever side that they're on, and once they decide it, if you don't like that, you don't have to live in that state. Or if you welcome that, you can move to that state and be with more like-minded folks. Like, that's what makes it great. But again, yeah, keep it out of the federal government's freaking purview. One thing I do want to go back, it was a great point that you said before the show. Can you talk about it's her and her daughter versus how everybody else was with her husband?
Oh yeah, we'll see that in one of the other clips.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So thanks for bringing out the lead. No, because I would have forgot.
Okay,
so I wasn't being facetious. Thanks for bringing it out because it's an important point. Here's the thing: Nikki Haley's real. She's the only. Okay, I want you to look at the eyes. Look at Ron DeSantis. He's like, my name is Ron DeSantis, and I have a question that I cannot compute. Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. Hey man, does my fucking hair look good or what?
This would look great on my book.
Right. This guy. Does anyone want my autograph? I'll sign that book right now. I don't know why he has a Southern accent. I don't know why I did that. Oh, hello, my name is Vivek, and would you like your book signed? Would you like a Slurpee? Just falling out all the stops. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I apologize.
We're going real 7-Eleven
here. So Scott is just like, I had a dream that little Republicans would handle big Republicans and walk down the street together. That's just the way he and Nikki Haley is watching. She is hawking every single word and analyzing and studying, and she's just real. I'm sorry. She's the only one who's real on that stage. and her answers are real. And good or bad, I will take that. And I was trying to tell Mike, I said, if this was 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, and we weren't as, if we were, take the sexist, overtones that were in those years, Nikki Haley would be a candidate that if she ran with John McCain would have won.
Oh, yeah.
You replace her with, or you replace Palin with her, and you have a John McCain ticket, which is terrifying. But Nikki Haley is a better VP than Dan Quayle. Definitely a better VP than Al Gore. Definitely a better VP than Sarah effing Palin. A better VP than Joe Biden. And most assuredly a better VP than Mike Pence. So why the hell would we not say Trump should absolutely pick her? And if he doesn't, he's absolutely batshit crazy, because it's going to give him the minority and the female vote, at least the undecideds. So she's a great option. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's impossible for her to win this nomination. I know you think I'm crazy, but we'll talk about that, because I'll tell you.
Well, people were crazy when they said Trump was going to win.
Right.
So
I think
anything can happen.
I think she would actually do well against Trump. And because she resigned on Trump. He didn't fire her. And she's one of the only ones who actually resigned, who he spoke positively about up until a few swipes over the last few months. It's an interesting thing. Even when she wrote her book, even when she came out, he never publicly lambasted her, which is an interesting point. Let's finish this up with the eyes of death from Hillary, or from Nikki Haley. And if you look at Vivek, he's just, what he's saying. Does this look okay for my profile of my book? Can this be the smoke cover for my book? Can this? He's a piece of shit. So she had it right. She called him a scum. Let's see if we actually hear her do that again.
Limit. 3 out of 4 Americans agree with a 15-week limit.
But don't make the American people think that you're going to push something on them when we don't even have the votes in the Senate.
Yep.
It's important that we're honest about that.
So,
thanks for watching. Stay updated about...
Shut up, Lester. Nobody likes you. So it's interesting. There's another video I want to show you that it seemed kind of contentious, to be honest with you, after everything was on lockdown. There was a moment that stuck out to me, and I'll see if we can play this. This is the after party, so to speak. This is when everybody kind of went home and America turned off the TV. And this happens. There's this celebratory where the candidates stand up on the line and all the family comes up and hugs them and, make sure that their tanning oil looks good, or poofs their hair, or it looks like he has hydroelectroshock therapy, Vivek Ramaswamy's hair. But I want you to watch and see if you notice something that Mike and I did, and it's an interesting visual. And here it is. It starts right away with Nikki Haley standing there with her daughter, and let's watch that. Who was in the audience for Vivek's comments, which is an interesting thing. I wish she would have stood up and said, "Screw you, you Soros shill piece of..." No, but here we go.
It looks like he's speaking now to Ronna McDaniel. Can't make her out exactly, but it looks like they may be having the exchange. Look, this was a big debate. Vivek came out here. He attacked the moderators. He attacked the media. He attacked the RNC for setting up this debate the way it was. And for a lot of the debate, he was on the attack. It was Vivek first, the rest of the room. When we look at the rest of the candidates and who received a lot of that incoming, we start with Nikki Haley. It then goes to Governor Ron DeSantis, who was center stage, of course, the hometown hero, if you will, in his state of Florida. And then Vivek in third place, getting other attacks as well. But he clearly was on off.
So the optics around this is, of course, NBC misses and buries the lead, so to speak. I talk about this often, where you start filling in the blanks and you miss the most obvious thing is every single person had their spouse there. And Nikki Haley has only her daughter. And it's really indicative of the single wife who is at home, or the single husband who is at home because their significant other divorced them, left them, is no longer in the child's life. No, that person is deployed overseas. and her husband is in the military. This so-called millionaire defense contractor that Vivek wants to paint her as has a husband who is overseas, who hasn't used her ambassador influence to get him, flat feet or corns on his feet so he doesn't have to serve. He's deployed. And it doesn't matter what he's doing deployed, he's overseas. And he is a full year overseas while she is going through one of the craziest times in her life. Her daughter is there. She doesn't have her husband there. And she was just as strong, just as powerful. And it really demonstrates how women have come so far over the last 20, 30 years. And of course, NBC completely misses it.
Well, because that's not the narrative that they want to push. They don't want to do anything that would actually portray a strong Republican candidate that could actually go toe-to-toe with Joe or whoever ends up coming up on the Democratic side. Like, there's no way they would want to push that.
Yeah, I just think it's very telling, and it's something that I saw, and immediately to me, that should have been the story. And nobody should feel sympathy or empathy. Deployment is a reality. I mean, Mike just got back from deployment. It happens, but it speaks to just the overall, one of these things don't belong here on this stage. And her not having her husband there, who is a huge part of her life, is pretty telling. And I think it makes her even more relatable. Mm-hmm. So it's just something that stood out to me. Everyone knows I'm a big Nikki Haley fan. And I'm a Nikki Haley fan because I'm sorry, I like sanity in my politics. I like people who actually have an opportunity and a chance to become something bigger or what they aspire to be.
Listen, if we actually get some common sense in the government,
right,
maybe we can actually get some things done and actually get some smart, correct policies pushed forward.
Well, that'd be nice. Listen, people are like, well, don't you like baklava shawarma?
I like baklava.
I like baklava. I'm not a shawarma fan. No, just not. But I'll eat it if I have to. But I'm not a Vivek fan because I know he's fake. Because I know what he was 2 years ago. And nobody has dug into who he is. The guy completely ghosted his Twitter profile for a reason. He was pro-COVID restrictions. This guy is a pharmaceutical CEO. He made his money off the backs of people suffering. And if you look at his funding, you look at his campaign contributions, why is he deleting his old Twitter profile? Well, because his views were not this libertarian, hands-off, don't tread on me. It was more bigger government, trusting in peddling influence. And now he's saying he's this great white hope. Excuse me. He tans. He's not somebody I would put forward. Like, I would rather have Dinesh D'Souza up there than him. And I think Dinesh is an intelligent and smart human being. I don't agree with everything he says. In fact, I disagree with a lot of the things that he says. But at least he's going to give you an honest account of what he truly believes. Vivek is just a mouthpiece, and all he does is tell you what you want to hear. He's very reminiscent of Obama. And I think that's dangerous. I don't want him in our party. I don't want him on our side. And I think he's just there to run opposition for Trump. I think he's Trump's stand-in. And I truly believe that when Donald Trump picks a VP, I would be shocked if he doesn't pick Vivek. And I think it's a horrible mistake. I think it would
really?
Oh, yeah. It's Trump.
You think there's that much bad blood between him and Nikki Haley? That
no, I don't think Trump. I don't think Trump does what's good for him. I think Trump does what he thinks is someone he can control, and he's controlling Vivek right now. Mm-hmm. And there's no contract with him. He already controls him. Vivek, it just is up there peddling for Trump. That's all he does. He just shills for Trump, and he's vying for a VP spot. That's all he's doing.
But
and
normally, wouldn't that give him like the Department of Treasury or not Treasury, transportation? Like, you just like, hey, I'll give you the lowest thing I can. Good luck.
No, he's too straight for that. That's what Pete Buttigieg does. So
sorry,
he doesn't ride his bike a block.
Isn't he the Ukrainian?
He doesn't take 4 SUVs a block away from his business and then gets on a bike. He doesn't do that, so he can't be transportation secretary. Listen, I think he's up there. He's never said one ill thing of Trump. Every other candidate has made some barbs about Trump. He hasn't. He goes after the press. That's what he led with. So just listen. If you listen to people, they'll tell you who they are. Believe him. He's a Trump shill. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be a Trump shill. There's been a lot of people who have been. I don't, and I think Trump likes people like him. He likes those people who are, that say what he believes. And the difference is that I don't think Vivek believes what he's saying, because 2 years ago he wasn't saying any of this. So I don't know. It just, Nikki Haley is here's the surprising thing. If Donald Trump came up to Nikki Haley and said, will you be my vice president? I don't even know if she would take it. If she resigned as ambassador and there was rumors of some internal conflict and choices that he made that she didn't like, I don't even know if Trump can get over the fact that she challenged him on January 6th and said he should have been stronger and challenged him on the stolen election. I don't know if Trump will ever allow her in his circle again because she doesn't completely agree with Trump. Can you name anyone in Trump's administration? Can you name anyone over the last 7 years that Trump still shows unabashed loyalty to? Give me one person he shows unabashed loyalty to. Name one.
The only one that kind of comes to mind, and granted, I don't know what happened after she left the press secretary, is Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, Sarah Huckabee. Because Sarah has never said one word against Trump. But look at Kayleigh McEnany. He absolutely just destroyed her, despises her. What about, what is it, Saramucci, whatever the hell his name is? He came in for press secretary for like 7 days. Anthony Saramucci, I don't know. He doesn't matter. The guy's a complete douche. Trump loved him. And everyone's like, nope, not this guy. And then, completely destroyed him. Look at Mark Meadows. Look at his chief of staff. Look at Rudy Giuliani. Look at the Kraken. You can just go on and on and on. And it comes down to this. You can say a lot of things about Trump, but demonstrating two-way loyalty is not Trump's MO.
Absolutely not.
You show loyalty to Trump and what about my loyalty? No.
It's called you get a job for 6 months.
Yep.
And then I'm going to find someone else.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Or you can keep your job forever, but know your place. So I never understood people say this person's disloyal. Like Trump gives any loyalty. I'm sorry. He's not a king. He's the president of the United States, former president of the United States. He doesn't need, that's why I don't vote for the man. I never will vote for the man. We tried that. We're not doing King George again. That's why when people are loyal to Donald Trump, I'm like, I don't understand that, because I don't swear fealty to men. I don't take a knee to men. No offense, Mike. So I don't understand why people, you can care about President Trump. I do. I care about Ronald Reagan. I care about Bush. Hell, I even cared about Clinton. I care about Obama. I don't want to see anything bad happen to our president. I don't care who you are. I'm just not going to say that. That's a stupid thing to think. But the one thing I will never do is take a knee for any man.
Neither will I.
Yeah, literally. I mean,
see, and this goes back to one of the things that one of my gunnies told us when I was a brand new Marine, just got to the fleet. You don't have to respect the man, but you respect the rank, or you respect the office.
Right.
So that's where, like, yes, you respect the ideals and the tradition that person holds. You don't have to respect them.
Right.
But granted, in the military, there's times you have to listen to them. But when it's the president, like, guess what? If you're going for one man or one woman, it's going to lead you down a path that, like, we don't want to go back down.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm still waiting for some ideals that we can actually get behind. Let's start with that first.
That'd be nice. How about
then we can
something
go from
consistent? Ronna McDaniel, she is the RNC chairwoman. And she had an interview last night with someone who we both like. You guys should listen to this. Vivek called for her resignation. I called for her resignation yesterday too. I think Vivek has a little more weight than I do when it comes to that. I don't think she's going to listen to me. But this woman, first of all, reminds me of Laura Loomer. If you don't know who Laura Loomer is,
I do not.
She is a conservative voice, total, talking about a Trump loyalist, like literally goes through Trump's garbage cans type woman, stalker, nut job, who thinks that everything was stolen from her, and she's suing Twitter and suing Facebook and everybody, thinking that she lost the election because it was a big witch hunt to keep her out of office. It couldn't possibly be that she's batshit crazy. And she literally looks like she just put her lips on a tailpipe and they're swollen. Well, no offense, I try not to go after people's looks, but enough of the injections into your lips, lady. None of you look like Angelina Jolie. You need to stop. You look like Joan Rivers. Just went 4 rounds with Marvin Hagler. Stop putting shit in your lips. You don't need it. You're beautiful the way you are. Knock it off. Who's this nice lady on the left in the pink and black there?
That would be Katie Pavlich.
Katie Pavlich doesn't have stuff injected into her lips. And in fact, she's just looking normal. But the lady on the right, I mean, enough. Seriously. You need to stop. And whoever told you to accentuate your eyes, you can do that without literally looking like a raccoon. Okay? I'm done picking on her. I don't like this lady. I think she's bad for the RNC. She's had nothing but failure. Let me give you her list of failures. Here it is. Real simple. In her tenure as RNC chairperson, they've lost 8 governor races, 3 Senate seats, 19 House seats, and then, of course, 1 presidential race. If that's success, then I've got another story to tell. Here's her reaction. I want to give them credit for using Rode mics. Rode mics are the best, unless you don't have an RE20 or an SM7B, but otherwise they're pretty good. Go Rode. Here you go.
Hey everybody, Katie Pavlich here for townhall.com. I'm here with RNC Chairwoman Rhonda McDaniel. Great to see.
And dude, what is up with the blouse? I mean, she looks like a pirate. She looks like an English colonial.
Well, she's getting ready to try to steal an election. So.
That's right. Well, try. That's the wrong side. That's the other side. Here we go.
Good to see you. The debate is over. 5 candidates this time. A smaller field. Was there anything tonight that was not discussed that you think candidates should have put out there?
I think they did a great job tonight. I really liked the format of them getting a minute and a half to answer questions. I think we didn't have the interruptions we've seen in the past. Yeah. I think anybody watching tonight walked away and said, I know where the Republican stands on key issues.
Really?
And we contrasted very well with Joe Biden.
Well, President Joe Biden certainly was sending out a number of emails for opposition research and would disagree with that, of course. There were allegations that were thrown on the stage by one of the candidates in particular, arguing that the Republican Party has a culture of losing. Specifically, Vivek Ramaswamy called for you to resign. Would you like to respond to that?
Is it culture
I'm going
or
to focus
fact?
on beating Joe Biden. I wish that's what all the candidates did. I'm not running for president.
Okay, so listen, I want you to listen. This is what's called undercutting your own argument. Listen, I don't want to talk about me. I'm not running for president. Let's focus on the candidates. But first, let's go ahead and talk all about me. Yes. So listen to it again. This is ridiculous. By the way, her jacket, she has gold buttons. It literally looks like she raided Liberace's closet, smoke jacket closet. I don't understand people's fashion sense. Look at Katie. She's wearing a fuchsia top with black. It accentuates her neckline. She looks fantastic.
Are you sure that's not just purple?
She looks so good in her pumps, and she just looks like she's ready for a night on the town. Sorry.
Would you like to respond to that?
I'm going to focus on beating Joe Biden. I wish that's what all the candidates did. I'm not running for president. I'm very proud of the fact that
That's fuchsia, bro. That's not purple. It's more magenta.
I know 8 colors. Past that, you lost me.
It's magenta. I don't know what it is. Pink.
my tenure, we won back the House. We now are getting investigations into the Bidens. I also, as Michigan chair for the first time in 30 years, won a state that Democrats hadn't been in. I'm very proud of the fact that we're going to have staff in 15 states heading into 2024. But, you know, I'll leave other people to attack Republicans. I'm going to focus on Democrats. I will say this. We can't attack each other and win. We need all of us. So if you're taking time to attack another Republican, especially when you're not even running against, maybe let's think about how we...
Mike.
Don't attack a Republican, but maybe instead of doing that, get a platform so we can understand what you actually want to do in office and something that we can actually get behind, instead of just like, oh, well, this lady's a warmonger and this guy doesn't know what he's doing and DeSantis just has a bunch of freaking rednecks down in Florida. Like, give us something that we can understand, something that everyone can logically be like, you know what, that doesn't hit everything that I want, but it is enough that you can get folks on the right, folks on the left to actually come together so we can move forward. It's not that freaking hard. I don't get it.
Todd, condolences for your mom, man. I'm sorry that you lost your mom. That's extremely difficult, and God bless. Everyone always asks me, Matt, why don't you run for office? You should run for office. We'd vote for you. No. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, say it. No, go ahead. Don't sugarcoat it. Just say it.
See, this is one of those, you were good for this type of thing because you're allowed to say what you want. If you did that on the trail, I don't think that would. Yes, there's people who would get behind you, but you would also alienate, just like Trump did. Some of the shit that he says is why people don't like him. And I guarantee you would go on there and say some crap or give some realities to people. There's like, oh, you can't say that to me. Like, I can't say a fact to you. I can't say that there's only two genders. Like, there would be so many things that it would. The politically correct sense is not you, and that's why
you don't
we love
know that. See, you don't know me well enough. No, you don't, and that's okay, because that's surface level. Listen, I had to be politically correct for 20 years, or I wouldn't have made it to the level that I did in executive management. That I know how to shut up and toe the line. So the point is I don't want to do that anymore. That's why is I won't do that. So you're right. Everything you said was correct, into the fact that I don't know how to toe that line. Because if you think I don't know how to throw on a suit and watch my P's and Q's and pretend enough to get accepted into the hierarchy of bullshit, I do.
But see, that's the thing. It's pretending.
That's right.
It's not being you.
Yeah, but it still comes. I still was very successful at it. So, if I wasn't successful at it, then I could agree with you. But it's not bullshit, because I do have a side that understands, as you do, that when you flip the switch, you punch the clock and you go to work, right? It doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. Were you being fake when you were overseas, even though you may have disagreed with some of the things that were done? No, you did your job because you were told to do your job. There's a difference. But I don't have any desire to do that. But if I did run, Mike, there was one thing that I would want to do, is do a mic drop moment, and then I would be done. And it would be simply this, is when someone says, how do you feel when this person attacks you? It's that, I don't know, I'll let you know when they attack me. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. Nobody's attacked me. Well, your opponent said, right, but that's
not an attack.
That's not being attacked. If you are telling me that my opponent is going to physically attack me, I'm going to respond in turn based upon the threat level. And if they're going to attack me and try to take my life, I'm going to take theirs. Is that what you're talking about? No, we're talking about the things that they said about you. Oh, so they have an opinion. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't consider that to be an attack. So let me give you my opinion of this candidate. And then I'm going to lay the law down. Because I'll tell you, if you would put that in that terms, you change the narrative. You stop the negative campaign ads. Because what do you feel about these attack ads? What attack ads? It's simply an opinion, and everybody's got one. Just because theirs is a particular shade of brown and stinks more than others really doesn't matter to me. So I'm not going to address those things, because that doesn't do anything. That doesn't move the needle. That's not my job. My job isn't to respond to this person. My job is to represent the constituents. What does that have to do with that person's opinion? Because either he or I are going to be completely non-existent once somebody wins. I don't know that person. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what there's no way I can physically or verbally attack that person, because I've never met them. We need to change the narrative that challenging somebody's opinion is attacking. I hate when people say that. People come on here, oh, but Matt, this guy's attacking you. No, he's not. He's got an opinion.
They're looking for attention. They're looking for the ratings. That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah, and I'll give it to them. I have no problem. You trolls come on here. I have no problem with slapping upside. Why are you attacking me? I'm not attacking you. If I was attacking you, you wouldn't be able to talk. You'd be drinking through a straw, or you'd be in a coma. I'm not attacking you. I'm giving you my opinion. That's the problem with this whole thing, is that we need to change the way we see each other. But I get your point, man. It's not that I disagree with you. I just, you don't know me well enough to know before the show.
Yep.
And I towed that line. And there's no doubt that I could shave, have a very well-trimmed goatee, and put on a suit and hide the tattoos, and go out there and wax intellect and talk about the Constitution and talk about election law and talk about campaign finance and talk about the border and talk about inflation and talk about all of these things, how we need a meritocracy-based system versus this virtue award system that we have. I mean, I can do all of that. But in the end, my skeletons are too many. And just the 1,000 some odd hours of content that's out there would sink me as a candidate. They
would be spliced together so well.
Oh, I'd be so screwed.
Oh, yes.
I just made a comment. I just said that. I just 7-Eleven. I just called Vivek Ramaswamy baklava shawarmy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you imagine?
They would be some epic reels.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do? Simply, listen, let me ask you guys a question. You're going to go ahead and pick apart everything I've ever said. And you're the media. And you're going to tell me that you don't do things that are dishonest for ratings?
Oh, yes.
So you're going to sit here and you're going to judge me based upon me trying to get rating on my show and get people to watch based on humor. But you guys actually sit up there with a straight fucking face and told people that Russia stole an election in 2016, that Donald Trump got peed on by prostitutes in Russia, that you actually had evidence and recited that Adam Schiff said that he had evidence of Russian collusion, that there were no such thing as the Steele dossier, that the FISA warrants were legitimate, that the raids on Donald Trump were were okay, spies in his campaign. You're going to sit here and tell me that you didn't lie and bullshit the nation, but you know their comment? You're not running for office. You're damn right, and I am. So report on me running for office and stop trying to malign me with my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a difference between opinion and representing constituents. And if you think that I don't know the difference, that all the constituents may not feel a certain way that I do, then you shouldn't run for public office. But the interesting thing is that that's what the mass media tries to achieve. They try to make everyone think the same way.
But this is where we got away from journalism, and now we just do propaganda.
Editorialization, right? So they don't want me to run for office because I will. This is the common sense conversation that I'll have with people. Is I will never hide from anything I've ever said. I don't care if you're Jew, Gentile, black, white, gay, lesbian, straight, Orthodox, Presbyterian, Baptist, Mormon. You're fair game to me. And I don't consider racism to be jokes. Hey, a Jew, a black guy, and a Muslim walk into a bar. I think every single person in America should hear that joke. I think every single person should see Eddie Murphy Raw. I think every single person should read Catcher in the Rye. I believe every person should put in NWA, Jimi Hendrix, at least, and Janis Joplin at least once in their life and listen to what they sang about. You don't have to like it, but I believe that we have censored sensitivity. And I know that you're like, wait a second, what do you mean? Everyone's sensitive. No. That's censored sensitivity, which means we are only going to listen to things that make you sensitive in the right way. Being raw or being grinded or being sandpapered is no longer an acceptable way to be sensitive. You have to be anesthetized to certain language. And if those things are said, that is the only level of sensitivity you can display, is your manufactured outrage. I think people should be pissed at where our government is at. I think people should be pissed on censorship. I think people should be pissed that you had to come home less than the way you left. I think people should be pissed. And I think they should be able to say it and they should be sensitive by it. But instead, we have to be sensitive that you don't have a ramp in every single fucking building and every company has to go ahead and spend thousands of dollars in order to gain that $5.25 that may grace their door because you enter it. I don't think that conversation needs to be mandated. I think you should be able to say, listen, I visit establishments and it's very difficult for me to move around and I think it sucks and I think it's horrible. And I think the government should come in and say, okay, we need to subsidize this so small businesses don't have to take it on the chin. And that conversation is okay to have. But there's people out there who think there shouldn't be a conversation, that you should be treated differently based by who you are, not what you need, not what you want. You want to comment on that? Do you agree that that's what takes place, that people tell you how you have to feel? Or do you think you're represented properly?
See, I get it all the time. Like, oh, well, because you're disabled or because you're crippled. And I'm like,
cripple. How could you say the word cripple? I'm so sensitive to that. You're so shallow.
Yes. Well, see, and that's when I go back to if I ever get a place that mandates pronouns, that's going to be my pronoun is cripple and crippy. And if you don't address me by that, we're going to have problems.
So you be a part of the 1/3 Crips, not the 2/6. Pound it. Come on, pound it.
The 1/3 Crips. All right.
1/3 Crips, yo.
Right. 1/3 Crips of Virginia, Northern Virginia Crips.
It'd be the 2/3 Crips. Sorry, 26 26th Street. Okay, whatever. We don't need to go in there. Go ahead. All right. So this is a good. I like this conversation. It is important. Go ahead. Tell us what you think.
Well, no, and there's a few people that I've been around more that they just understand and they just treat you normal, but they understand that there's times that yes, I'm going to need help. I need some accommodations to actually do things. But they allow me to bring those up.
Right.
Or they've been around me enough, they understand like, hey, this is where Mike's probably gonna need some help. Not this like, oh, well, you're disabled and you have your prosthetic, so you need this. I'm like, you don't freaking tell me what I need. You guys want to pull this, oh, my body, my choice bull crap, but then you're gonna tell me I need this or I have to go do this. Like, you're out of your freaking mind.
Right.
All you have to do is have a conversation like, hey, I see you got this wheelchair. Do you need anything? If I say no, okay, cool, move on. Or if say, hey, maybe like this would be easier to help get around. Is that something that's doable, or is that going to be too much a hassle? Like we can figure out different ways. But and it's the same thing to where when I have a bunch of kids that see me for the first time, because like guess what, I have prosthetic legs. They look really weird. They look like robots. When kids see it for the first time, it's a brand new experience and they don't know how to react, but they're also super curious.
Like, where do I get those shoes?
It's like, how do I do this?
How do I get this? How does this happen? Tell me.
Then it's always the parents that are like, oh no, don't look, don't stare.
Yeah.
But the ones that get it, they'll kind of look at me and I'll give them the nod like, yeah, it's okay. They're like, you can go ask. Like, go ask what happened. Go ask what those legs are. Because that's how these kids have to learn. Like, you have to see something and understand, like, yes, I got hurt. I lost my legs, but the doctors gave me these legs, so now I can still get around and I'm fine. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And they go about their day. Unless your kid is, like I know their parents or they're one of my boss's kids, and I'll hand them my leg and tell them they'll give it to their dad so their parents can freak out just to make it awkward because that's fun.
Hey, get back here, you little shit.
You stole my leg. What are you doing? One year for Halloween,
you give it to him and tell him, no, it's okay, just take it. Then all of a sudden you fall down. Hey, give me my.
Hey, come back.
Poor kid's like, you son of a bitch.
One year I did that for Halloween as I made the kids grab the candy out of my leg. Some of them thought it was amazing. Some of them ran away.
Of course.
Like it was too much. But hey, it's Halloween. It's fun. But yeah, it's always one of those, if you see someone that's a little different and you think they need help, there's nothing wrong with going and ask. You just have to do it in a respectful way. But don't go up and like, oh, you're crippled. You have to do this. It's
right.
Like, no. It's like a lot of us have worked our entire life of whenever we got disabled of making sure we can still have a life.
Right.
And making sure we can do things independently and do whatever we want to do. And in some cases, do more things.
Sure.
So if you get to the point you think like, oh, you need this, you probably need to check yourself and maybe ask a question like, hey, I'm just curious. I don't know how this works. How do you do that? Just because I want to know. Because like I have a bunch of people ask how I drive with the hand controls just because they've never seen it before.
I asked you the first time I saw it. I'm like, he has a Jeep. And I'm like, bro, how in the do you drive that thing? And it wasn't
Accio driving.
It wasn't Accio driving. I wasn't, hey, Mike, due to these unfortunate circumstances with your appendages, I was wondering if I might partake in a question asking about your vehicular routine.
That's very old English of you.
Just fucking ask him. I'm like, dude, how the fuck do you drive that thing? Right? That's what I said. How do you drive that? And he's like, well, let me tell you. And honestly, what my experience is with amputees is stop treating them like amputees and just treat them like normal human fucking beings. There's no difference between them or you. And if you're going to ask someone, you walk into a house and you see someone with a loo, you see someone with, a certain type of toilet. a bidet. And you're like, I've never seen one of those. So you wouldn't go, excuse me, Michael, due to your anal orifice being extremely expanded because of your time in prison, I was wondering, hey man, how in the F do you use this thing? Well, let me tell you. Yeah, don't show me.
Let me use it on you.
Don't show me. Just tell me.
Let's get back to your Navy roots.
Right. So,
let's go do this together.
So it just doesn't make any sense. And I've seen people who have no arm left who fire a weapon, and they use a rig to do so. And I don't sit there and say, oh, how do you fire a weapon? And oh, I don't want to encroach upon you. It's simply like, man, how the fuck does that work? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, show me how this thing works. What are the engineering behind how this freaking happens? Because that's amazing.
Is this possible? Does this hurt when you shoot? Have you noticed any downward slope in your quality of target selection? Is this hard? Is it easier? Tell me, are there any benefits to this? I mean, I'm just curious, and I think people aren't curious enough anymore, and they do this false, synthetic line of questioning that really has nothing to do about you and has everything to do with their uncomfortability.
Well, is it just because are they not curious, or are we so sensitive on everything? Like, oh, sorry, I don't want to offend anyone and do anything now that it's.
Well,
see, I just don't know where the line is.
No, that's a good question. I think curiosity is an action, right? Yeah. So if in action or somehow putting this falsetto line of questioning, that's not curiosity. Mm-hmm. That's just bullshit.
Because they want to hurt my one feel. So, or maybe they don't want to hurt.
That's
the
thing.
Feel.
It's the attempt. No, it's the attempt for them not to feel awkward if they do hurt your feelings. That's the problem. They don't give a shit about you. If they gave a shit about you, they would ask. They don't. Mm-hmm. They don't care about you. They care about their feelings. And they are asking because they're uncomfortable, not asking because they're curious. Mm-hmm. So like when I talk to you or I make a joke, I don't apologize for it.
No, you just come with the next one. It just keeps rolling.
Just hit it. And if you don't like it, you know what you're going to do?
I'm going to throw a leg at you.
And you're gonna, or hey, Matt, stop. And I'm going to say, oh, thanks for telling me, man. Now I'm aware. And I probably won't even apologize. I might just be like, dude, if that was a dick move, I'm sorry about that. I'll say that. I've said that to you before on other things. But I'm not going to sit here and apologize. Listen, if you give Mike and I established our relationship a long time ago. Say it. It makes me feel included. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you know what you asked for because I'm going to include you a lot. And
what's left of you anyway.
Right. And if you don't like it, you'll tell me. It's just like Leroy the other night when he said I have a big forehead. I could have said, you know what? I could have sat there and let that ruin my entire day because maybe I've got some sort of stigmatism about my forehead. I don't. Most people have a feature that they don't love. And fortunately, my forehead isn't my problem with my features that I don't love. And even if someone did say it, they don't know that. And why would I allow them to have that power over me by getting all offended? Sensitivity should really, truly be designed for hot and cold and pain and pleasure. And then all other forms of sensitivity, I really don't give a shit about. That's it. Those are the four real feelings that sensitivity is designed for. When we say that our emotions, you allow that to happen. If somebody says something and you allow it to affect you, that's your fault, not theirs. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing where I'm being attacked because a reporter's asking me a question, I try not to use those words.
Or I get triggered because there's a poster or there's some picture up. Like, okay, then don't look at the picture. Move on with your life.
That's right. Okay, good example. Coming up, Veterans Day is tomorrow, right? And also Marine Corps birthday tomorrow.
The only birthday that matters.
Whatever, shut up. It's all of our day. Why are you attacking veterans?
I'm not attacking veterans.
Stop attacking veterans.
The Marine Corps Day.
I'm feeling
there's something
sensitive.
else that's going on.
Oh my God.
It happens.
Okay.
A lot of crayons will be consumed tomorrow. If your kids don't have any crayons for school, we apologize now.
So I'll say this. It's not attacking somebody to question them. Attacking somebody's character is different. Espousing things about them or maligning them with the worst parts of society, calling someone a Nazi, that's an attack. You're saying something that inherently is not true, but also extremely derogatory to a point of damaging somebody's character. But if I go and see, here's a decent example. I was surfing the net this morning at like 5:30, and I saw a post in regards to veterans, and it had a picture of a homeless person who was completely disheveled, and you could smell the picture. And then next, you saw a veteran coming home, and they were standing in front of a house that they just got with some sort of hardware for an amputee and a wheelchair and a vehicle that was modified and was given to them. And some jackass communist sympathizer said, this is capitalism over the homeless person, and this is socialism over the vet.
Oh, yeah.
Just and I'm going to shut up and let you. I'm going to let you finish, Taylor, but just 1 second while Kanye says some stuff. And I, at first, was like, okay, fuck this guy. I am going to destroy this person and then I stopped and I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. Because that person, there is nothing I can say
correct
that is going to help that person understand how fucking stupid they are. And the only thing that will make this situation even worse is me wasting my time trying to do so.
Exactly.
So I just was like, go ahead, buddy. Someone else take my light work. Go ahead, Mike. Your feelings on the dumbest meme of the year.
All right, my one feel coming out. So if you want to sit here and say that, like, I'm one of those, I am a recipient of a home from Homeless Road Troops. There's a bunch out there. There's Garrison East. There's Tunnels to Towers. There's a bunch of them out there. The reason that we are able to have those homes is because the generosity of people in this country. It has nothing to do with the government. The government is freaking horrible at actually helping their vets.
Correct.
And that's why, like, I love when people go back to we want government-run healthcare. Spend 6 months in the VA and see if you can actually get anything done.
Give me a break.
It is freaking god-awful. But you want to sit here and say that socialism would give you this? No. All of that would be taken back. They would throw all the amputees in one house and be like, figure it out, good luck. It is because the generosity of Americans who still give a shit is the reason why military members that served and lost limbs or they need some of that adaptive equipment can get that. It has nothing to do with the government. The government does not help in that way. There are some things that the VA do for vehicles or a little bit to help adjust a home if you already have it. But these organizations go out of their way to give veterans a chance at life and give them that sense of community and home as a building block so they can grow and get back into society after being freaking at their lowest point. It has nothing to freaking do with your socialism, capitalism bullshit.
Nope.
It is the generosity of your everyday freaking Americans.
Yeah. And if you want to see totalitarianism, fuck you. Take my home, take my car, take my wheelchair, give me your legs.
Yes.
Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Sorry. Don't care. And you know what? It's Christians who do it. Christians give more than any other race, demographic on the planet. Any other religion, any other color, sexual disposition, sitting up when they pee, sitting down when they pee, it doesn't matter. Christians give more than anybody. So you can sit here and say all you want, but when you consider it socialism for people to give their hard-earned money, there's a difference. One is forced and the other one is willing. That's capitalism, is let the free market decide. Exactly. So if I want to give my money to someone other than Wounded Warriors Project, and don't you dare give it to WWP.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely
Do not give their money to WWP. That's fucking ridiculous. They're worthless. There's tits on a board. I'll say it right now. Scott, fuck you and your organization. But you want to give it to Tunnels for Towers. You want to give it to Gary Sinise. You want to give it to Travis Manion. You want to give it to the Purple Heart Foundation. You can go list on and on and on. And there are plenty of wonderful organizations out there to give money to. That's fine. But that's the difference between socialism and capitalism is choice, free market capitalism. And if I want to give my money to vets, then that's my choice. It's none of your fucking business. Pardon my French. I'm cussing a lot lately because the closer we get to this election, the worse this is going to get for me, because I know what's going to happen. And I've tried to tell y'all that this isn't going to be good for anybody. Republicans are in deep trouble. And I'm frustrated because I don't care about the power. I don't care about having an R in front of the name. I don't care about listening to somebody for 4 years who isn't going to make me want to just jump off of a building. I care because the Constitution is going to get wrecked. It's going to get wrecked. If you have a party that can't even care about the unborn, what makes you think they're going to care about you? If you want to know the difference between Republicans and Democrats, that's it right there. That's it. If they don't even care about unborn kids, how in the fuck do you think they're going to care about you? That's all you need to know. And once you establish that and you break it down to the lowest common denominator with Republicans and Democrats, that's all you need to know. And now look where they're at with Israel and Hamas. You've got an entire party that wasn't talking about Palestine in the last 3 years. Not once. You didn't hear one word about Palestine at all. Never. But then Hamas kills Jews, and now all of a sudden we have to care about Palestine, which is essentially you're supporting Hamas.
100%.
It's not even essentially. You are supporting Hamas. If you come out and talk about Palestine and you choose to do it now, it's because of the attack that took place on Israel, which means that you're supporting Hamas. You could have supported Palestine since they pulled out 17 years ago out of Gaza. Jews aren't in Gaza. Jews are not in the West Bank. Give me a break. This is the problem I have. We got to show you this guy. This guy is this guy.
Oh, this guy. That's right.
Oh, dude, this guy. This fucking guy.
This is the guy I want to get behind.
This is the guy. This is the guy behind the guy.
This is the face.
This is the face. This is the
Democratic Party.
Unhinged leftist. His name is, I want to get him right.
Oh, this is Let's Go Brandon. That's right.
This is Let's Go Brandon.
Let's Go Brandon.
This is Brendan. Excuse me. No, excuse me.
Oh,
McCall. It's Brendan.
Brendan.
Hello, my name is Brendan Scythe the third. Hello, Puffy. Wonderful to see you. This is Brendan Anthony Martin. First of all, he has 3 names. What are you, a fucking woman? Why do you have 3 names? You think your boyfriend from high school is going to try to find you because you're not using your maiden name?
Got 3 first names.
Why do you have 3 names? Why do you sound like John Wilkes Booth? Why do all psycho nut jobs have 3 names? Brendan Anthony Martin. Hi, my name is Mike Mac Tim. Mike Mac Tim is my name. And slaying women is my game.
Very Australian of you there.
Mike Mac Tim. Hello, Mike
Watch
Mac.
out for them.
Well, Australian be more like, hello, my name is Mike Mac Tim. Hello.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. That's English.
Whatever. Same thing.
Throwing all the shrimp on the barbie. Foster's. It's Australian for fuck you, mate. All right. Why? Why do you have 3 names? Dude, you're a man. Why? I can't stand it. There's 2 types of people who have 3 names. Women who are desperate to find their high school boyfriend, so they go ahead and use all 3 names on Facebook, and assassins. John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay? It's real simple. Stop using 3 names. Use 2 names. Nobody can. Oh, but it'd be Mike Mac Tim. All right. This guy is a government contractor. He's a federal contractor, with human health and human services. And he administers their healthcare system. I want you guys to make sure you go find this gentleman and give him as much love as you can. Brendan Anthony Martin. His LinkedIn profile is a hoot. Go see it. And I am going to make sure that we pay for some advertising on this segment so everyone can find out and see this guy for who he is. Because this isn't doxing. This guy put himself in the public eye. If someone breaks out a video camera on you, do you know what your response should be?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Turn the camera off if you want to have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to pop smoke. The moment a camera comes out, I'm going to be like, see ya. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid that you're going to put this on video and millions of people are going to see it and it's going to affect my life negatively, no matter what I say, because you're going to cut it how you want to cut it. So have a nice day. Now, there might be some I'd be like, what's the size of your network? I think mine's bigger. But the moment somebody starts videotaping, I'm popping smoke. And because I'm not going to allow you to dictate what I say and how I say it based upon your editing skills. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So here's the thing. There's a poll worker and he's outside and he's just doing his job. The RNC has hired him to survey and do exit conversations. Hey, how was your voting? Did everything come out okay? Did they ask you for your license? Was there any complications? Anything I can help you with? Did you have any questions? And these are volunteers, man. These are kids that usually, or older people who have nothing better to do because Matlock doesn't come on till 7 o'clock or Transformers G.I. Joe reruns doesn't come on until 12. So they're just out there doing their job. And this guy decides to play Super Warrior. And I can't stand these fake pseudo tough guys. I can't stand them. Watch this guy. There is some language in here. So if you're ultra sensitive, now is the time. Here it is.
For the election, you might as well have been walking up to my head on the way to the polling station, putting a gun to my head, trying to tell me not to vote. You expect me not to take that fucking personally? You fucking try to overthrow elections with violence, and then you're out here among decent people.
Decent people, right? Yeah.
If your stomach extends past your chest, you might want to do a push-up. Anatomically, that shouldn't happen. Even at his age, this isn't about knocking you for your looks, but you're a man, and your boobs should not be lower than your belly button. Have some self-respect. I understand it's hard. I understand that the donuts are easy and going to fast food is simple, but all you're doing is pumping your body in an effeminate form to begin with more estrogen, and it's turning you into a 70-year-old Karen with purple hair. This guy, he wants to hit him so bad, but he can't find the testicular fortitude to do it. He wants to fight this guy, but he doesn't know how to control his emotions because he's menstruating. He's got so much estrogen in his body, he doesn't know how to convey his thought. I want you to look at the guy behind him, Thurston Howell III, who's back there and he doesn't take his head out of the phone. This guy has the right idea. He's like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want anyone to recognize me, and I just want people to leave me alone. Yes. And both try to engage him, and this guy's like, no, I'm not fucking having it. All right. Watch this.
Thanks for
coming out. What do you have to say that, huh? What are your policy prescriptions?
Have a nice day. You've already
fucking rapist rights.
Yeah.
Involving yourself in people's fucking families and their fucking bedrooms.
It's pretty wild.
You fucking animal.
See, and this is where your policies and the words on your paper might as well be a gun to my head. Like if you get to the point to where words that you're going to compare to someone holding a gun to your head, you are so delusional that I don't trust a single thing that you say. But the problem is he's in the majority in that area, because I think it was like Arlington or Fairfax. It was somewhere closer to DC that's what they actually believe. And I do not understand how you can get to that point and to where okay, you already voted. You already have your democratic freaking values there. Guess what? We don't agree with that, but do you see him coming up saying the same crap to you? No. But yet it's okay for Democrats to go and do this to a Republican, and then they're praised for it.
Yes. The thing about this, Mike, is that you may not have seen this. This happened Oh, it was overseas, and I don't know where. Maybe South America. I don't know. But there were climate activists on the road, and this old man, 73 years old, I think is what he was. He was carrying. They were infringing upon his way to get past, and being antagonistic as they are blocking the road, blocking the way for him to get through. He pulled out a 45 and he fucking plugged him. And although I don't condone that, this is what you're going to get. This type of guy gets shot because he's going to go and he's going to push somebody to the breaking point. He's going to push somebody to a point where they are going to release all of their emotions onto this one person. And I can't say this enough. I confront people on this show all the time, and a lot of people don't call in. Well, probably because I didn't put the number up today, but there's the number. But a lot of people call in and they want to have a conflict of words, and that's fine. I'm more than acquiesced to that request, and I will debate and talk to anybody. I don't care who it is. But I always try to leave them better than I found them. And you've seen me in 2 confrontations with people, and I always try to leave it amicable, the best of my ability. I really do. And I trust me, I get juvenile and I get petulant just like everybody, but I always try to bring it back to, are you okay? I hope you're better than you were. If there's anything you ever need, let me know. And I try to do that. I offer to help people as much as I can. And it gets hard. If you don't take me up on it right away, you're probably not going to get it. But everyone's going through something. And in this day and age, what makes you think that you're so star-spangled awesome that their life is not just as shitty as yours is?
100%.
And we have got to get back to that commonality that, you know what, we look at these Facebook profiles, and because somebody is having a pina colada the size of a frickin' cooler, and there's some sort of synthetic resort that they might be at playing golf, that somehow that their life is perfect, that their wife doesn't diddle another guy, that their kids don't talk to them anymore, that they're one paycheck away from being broke, is I don't know where we have gotten to a place where we believe that we're the only people who are suffering or in pain.
Or why we take, if we're in pain, then why are we pushing that negativity and pushing that falsehood on someone else?
Right.
Rather than trying to give a handout, being like, hey, can I help you? Because guess what? I also need that help.
That's right.
And maybe giving that gesture will spark something in me to get positive and to start down the correct path. It's always got to be like, oh, I'm having a shitty day. I'm going to make somebody else have a shitty day too.
The last thing I want to try to recreate for anybody who's interacting with this show or who I go after. Listen, I went after a couple people's looks today because they deserved to be told the truth. Just like I deserve to be told the truth, there's something that you think I need to hear that I'm neglecting. Like if I'm up here espousing that I'm the Brad Pitt of morning talk show, and I'm trying to pull that off, you can call me out and educate me that I'm wrong. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with telling people the truth. This guy's problem is that he is an estrogen-riddled, effeminate male who doesn't like his own father, who doesn't like what he looks like in the mirror, and he's going to go ahead and make sure that he picks on other people, not attacks, but he antagonizes people in order to fulfill his own lack of self-worth. That is the best thing that I can tell you because it's the truth. Because I know guys like this my whole life, because I used to be one of them. This is how I got through high school. This is how is taking my hatred for myself and projecting it onto others to believe that I had a tough exterior. No, I was just an asshole. And I did it for most of my younger adult life too. If you can't recognize your own inequities and you pretend that they're not there, then you deserve to have them called out. Everyone looks in the mirror and doesn't like what they look like. Everyone thinks they can lose a few pounds. Everyone understands the difference between fit with clothes on and fit naked. And there's a very big difference between the two. And most people are fit with clothes on people. Most everybody. Very few people in the world are fit naked. So if you think that we all don't have insecurities and wonder why something's sagging a little bit more than the other, everyone goes through this.
Matt, do you remember when everything that you just said, do you remember what made you realize that you were going that way and what changed it?
Well, that's a really good question. That's a tough one because there's a couple answers. The first one is that it's always posthumous from the event. So it's never during. It's always after. It's after the event is irrelevant and dead, and it's upon reflection that most people realize that they need to fix something about themselves.
Yep.
And that's too late. So it's on the corpses of dead relationships that I've learned these lessons. It's always based upon somebody's death, not physically, but metaphysically, existentially. They're dead. They're no longer a part of your life and they're gone, that you realize that, wow, I could have been better. And most people don't come to that realization. Most people are so shallow and self-centered that they don't reflect. Well, I do. I always reflect. And I always say, how could I be better? How could I be a better friend? And I know I'm not a great friend. So what I've done is I've limited my interactions with people because I do care about people. And I will not thrust myself upon somebody who hasn't kind of accepted the terms of our friendship. So it's not a realization. I never truly realized it. What I have realized is that I have to limit my interaction with people if I want to maintain good relationships, and that's just who I am. And once you do that, you reach a certain level of confidence in yourself that you can, in fact, make change and help them change as well. Because the only way to change another human being is that they have to like you. That's the number one prerequisite. If they don't like you, they're not going to change for you. So you have to build a relationship where people care about you. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to impact change, number one. So that's what a lot of people do, is they don't like themselves, so they're incapable of impacting change in other people. Once you establish that you like yourself, you've got to uncover what you hate about yourself. And then once those two things happen, then you put yourself in a state of almost invulnerability, because somebody will say, you know what, you're an asshole. And you can be like, you're right.
Yeah,
I am.
who isn't?
I am.
That's how it goes.
You're arrogant, Matt. Yeah, yes. And I'm aware of that. Thank you for telling me. By the way, you're an overbloated, effeminate piece of shit who degrades people on a street corner because you hate your daddy. And then they're like, how dare you attack? Well, wait a second. You just said I was an asshole and I embraced it. So I think the second thing is be receptive to feedback from people and know, don't let anyone surprise you with what they're going to tell you. Know what they're going to tell you about you and know yourself better than anyone. So when they say it, you can accept it. So to answer your question, Mike, I'm doing things right now that I don't know that are hurting people. So you'll never know. The only way you'll truly be a better person is to learn from the mistakes you've made and try to practically apply it so you don't do it again. And it's just a give and take. So there was no catalyst. How about you? I mean, did you have the same thing, or have you always been the nice guy that you are?
Well, no, it's definitely like a lot of it was either relationships that went bad, but really it was individuals who could either tell that I was depressed or in a very down mood and did things to help get me out of it, or they were the ones that stood up to me like, no, this is why you're doing this. And this is where I go back between change and growth. I'm not a fan of the change. I don't want someone to change for somebody else.
People don't change.
That we're frozen on there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That rather than that change versus growth. Like, I don't want you to change who you are. I want you to grow as a person.
That's right.
I want you to take where you're at and figure out whatever your flaws or your strengths are and go in a direction that you want to live and how you want to live, rather than like, oh, you need to change yourself for me. Like, no, I don't. I'm my person. Either you accept me for who I am and we can work on and I can grow on things that I'm deficient in, rather than change.
That's a really good topic. So let me ask you this. Can people change?
I don't think people are ever truly going to change, because you're never going to lose the parts of you that you want to change, you're never truly going to lose that. And I think there are situations that you're always going to fall back on that, but you can grow and you can learn how to, and suppress probably isn't the right word, but understand yourself to know that when you have those tendencies, that you can stop them from boiling over, or be like, hey, I'm getting in this place. I know where I'm going to go and it's not good. So like, I need to stop, or I need to go do my thing for a second so I can get back to a good place, so I don't get to this area again, because I know what I'll do if I get down there.
Yeah.
So do people change? Honestly, I don't think, no. It's they grow and they don't allow those tendencies to come out as often, or they can understand and recognize the signs. And then they're like, you know what? Time for me to do something else. Or they can grow enough, and if they get with either the right relationships or they have enough self-reflection and self-love, like, you know what? I'm not going to go back to that place. I'm going to remember that place. I'm going to know what I did there, but I'm not going to go back there.
Okay, so it's very astute. This isn't belittling for someone your age to establish that, and there is an age gap. Whether we want to embrace that or not, I mean, these boyish young looks don't tell the tale, but it's a good lesson to learn. People don't change. People can't change. It's impossible. You can't change who you are. You can only expand or contract. And utilizing your weakness by leveraging your strengths is a beautiful thing. And the only problem is most people overcompensate with their strengths in order to make up for their weakness, when that's the opposite. You should embrace your weakness and move to make them no longer weaknesses, but make them mediums in your life. Make them mids in your life. Make them averages in your life instead of below averages. If you can do that, that's meaningful change. And it's not your change. It's the way people perceive you. And that's the interesting thing. You can change your perception of other people, but you can't change people. So if you can make yourself affable enough to get people to change their perception of you, then you will not be able to change, but you'll be able to take your weakest parts of yourself and make them average, which will make people focus on your strengths and make you a lot more affable and willing for other people to accept you for who you are. I know that I don't have that moderation piece inside of me, so I have to give myself in moderation to other people, so they can see my strengths, build that relationship, build that self-loyalty to them and each other, and then you get carte blanche to be an idiot.
But that's one of those things you understand. You have to understand yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a long time to get there, but once you can truly understand what you are, who you are, whether that's good or bad, and how to use that in a positive way, or how to use that so you can maintain the relationships, that's what you have to do. And that's not something that's going to be easier. It's going to come later.
That's a really good point. That's like, okay, so time for some super duper honesty, and we've got a little bit more time because I want to show this ass bag. I yell at my kids. I yell at my wife. I've done it now for about 3 years, and I don't know why. And it's not like as you would anticipate when I say that, because the first time you think of that, you're like, oh, it's horrible, degrading, and screaming, and no. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, instead of me getting up and walking over to Hayden or Ethan, that's yelling. Or my wife drops a dish and it triggers something inside of my head. You know what I'm talking about, Mike. And I go to a place that I don't like to go to, and I get into that mindset where you talk to people like, what the fuck did you just do? And that person comes out, and that's someone I will never be able to control. Mike knows what I'm talking about. Vets know what I'm talking about. So I have to realize that I will always raise my voice, but I have to have enough times where I don't, that when I do, hurts more.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain that. And people are going to be like, what? You have to make the person feel more in order for you to get better at not doing it. And you're going to be like, I don't understand why. How is that possible? Okay, I'll tell you. Because when you constantly do something like be an alcoholic, or you're abusive, or you're just downright a slob, and you're always tardy to work, all of these bad traits, and you do it over and over and over, people become anesthetized to it and it no longer hurts them. Therefore, they no longer care about you, but that care is what you need in order to get better. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a conundrum. It's a puzzle. It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle. And it's a circular and cyclical event that has no escape. And you're just going to keep going around in circles. You're going to keep yelling, you're going to get louder, or you're going to keep drinking and drink more, or you're going to be more of a slob, or you're just not going to show up to work at all and turn tardies into absence because nobody cares. So the key for me, you asked for that change, and here it is, is realizing that I have to have more good days than bad days. And I need to put a series of good days together and make a commitment and demonstrate the work. I have to show my work.
Yep.
And it got better for me with my friends, with my wife, with my kids, when I strung 7 days together and then I fucked up. And showing contrition. And truly recognizing, not with them telling me, but me telling myself and saying, I'm sorry. I just raised my voice. That was totally uncalled for. Can I have a start over? And wife, kids, and son run up to you, put their arms around you and say, Dad, thanks. I love you. No problem. It's okay. And then you feel their acceptance.
Because I think when you said they have to hurt,
yes,
because that is the only thing that is going to teach you,
yes,
that
bingo,
this is what I did.
Yep.
This is the emotion and the reaction that I
Yep.
got, and it hurt them, but
Yep.
then it hurts me enough
that I fix it,
that you're going to do something.
And that's it. Because you don't care anymore, they don't care anymore, and therefore it's not, you can say you're sorry 1,000 times, but everyone knows you don't mean it. You're just going to do it again. So you have to show some contrition. You have to show and put yourself out there and be vulnerable and actually make the change, you prick. You got to stop taking so many drinks. You got to stop being late. You got to stop freaking yelling at your family. And that is, so now when Hayden comes home and she has lipstick all over her shirt because she didn't cover her face, and it's brand new, and it's a $75 Taylor Swift shirt, and now it looks like literally that it made love to the Joker from Batman, and her shirt got in a fight with Joker and Batman because there's makeup, and you're just, Hayden, God F it, that's a $75 shirt, we just bought that for you, what the fuck? And she's 13 years old, and you're talking to her like she's a sailor, or you're talking to her like she's Mike, or you're talking like you're on the show. And you have to understand that is not the proper way to talk to a child. So you got to pull back. And this isn't a real example, but this could have been a real example a year ago. And what's funny, you want to hear something great? I'm sitting at the table with my kids and my wife, and I was telling a story just like that. And I said, God, can you guys imagine 3 months ago how I would have reacted to this situation? And I'm going to pat myself on the back. And my daughter reaches over and she goes, Dad, that was a year and a half ago. You've been not like that. And it crushed me, man. It fucking crushed me because I didn't know it'd been a year and a half. And she's like, Dad, you've been awesome for a year and a half. You don't do that anymore. You don't yell. And I didn't know. I thought it'd been 3 months. And
But
after a while, you string so many good days together that you just don't realize that the bad ones are behind you. Does that make sense?
It does, but that should also tell you that, for me, I think it's good to think it's that close because that's what's going to keep you going out of that place. But then there's enough recognition between your family and your loved ones.
Yes.
That's like, those are the moments that are going to, like, yes, it's going to crush and hurt that you got to that point, but they can recognize the work that you have done. It's
That's
like,
it.
No, it's been that long. Like, that is the biggest praise that you can get, but you never want to lose that. I'm just 3 months behind this, because when you get to that point that you don't remember that, you're going to regress back to it.
That's so true.
So you have, and this is where, like, I know with all my stuff, like, you want to move on, you want to forget it, but you can't.
No.
Because you have to remember the bad times to realize how good the good times are.
That's it. That's it. People say, I can't, there's two things. Is when people say, hate's such a strong word. Yeah, but it's necessary. I can't stand people say they don't hate. I'm a Christian, I don't hate. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because if you don't know how to hate, then you don't know how to love. I can't stand that. I think it's so dismissive and it's so narcissistic for you to assume that you don't have a human emotion. God doesn't hate. Well, that's because God's not human. That's a human emotion, just like jealousy. These are emotions that we possess, and you can pretend you don't hate, but you do. You do. And once you embrace that, you'll understand the finer points of love. And once you recognize that, but you could be completely full of hate and you don't even know it. I hate. Mm-hmm. I hate people who abuse other people.
Or abuse animals.
That's right.
My big one.
I hate them. And honestly, I can't stand those people. If you beat women, I fucking hate you. I do. If I see it, I will have no restraint. I'm going to put you down. And I've done it multiple times. I can't stand it. I can't stand people who are racist or degrade homosexuals because of their sexual disposition. Fuck you. I hate you. I can say that. Do I hate Democrats? No. Do I hate liberals? No. Do I hate socialists? No. Do I hate progressives? No. Do I hate people who are established communists? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I hate terrorists? Yes, I do. Do I hate oligarchs? Yes, I do. But if people are exploring socialism, no, because we've all been there. Most people who are young flirt with progressive socialist ideas because that's just what's in college, and you're going to have that challenge.
That's also how you learn.
Yeah, you learn. Like I learned not to shit in my own hand. Okay, I learned not to throw that across. Why? Because it's fucking gross. I learned socialism was fucking gross too. Some people didn't learn that, but I don't hate you for that. I don't hate people for what they're not. I hate people for what they are. And as soon as you can start realizing that and make that distinction, you will love people for who they are not. But you also love them for who they are. Mm-hmm. Which you can't hate people for who they are not. That's not part of the equation. But it's interesting. Once you bring love into the equation, it's more of an expanded emotion because you cover more people. You cover all people with love. But with hate, it's very myopic. It's very singular in its design. And that's the whole interesting thing about it. The last thing I'll say about this conversation is that change is the only constant. And there are certain moments in your life, and there's only a handful of them, that are truly life-changing. And as soon as you realize that you're in control of 0 of those, life becomes more simplistic. And I've always told this, once you've been shot at, life gets real simple.
Yes, it does.
It gets real fucking simple.
Mm-hmm.
Once you hear that hiss or that pop, life becomes simple. And once you realize that everything will be okay, that the human body and spirit are very hard to kill. So a little bit of debt, losing your house, losing your wife, losing a child, losing the things that you feel are the most material in your life that make you who you are, those things won't kill you. The only thing that will kill you is neglecting the moment and recognizing that it is fundamental change in your life. That will kill you because you'll give up.
Yep.
You'll quit. You'll quit. If you don't realize that this is a life-changing event, you're going to die. A piece of you, or you're going to take your life, or you'll just quit. That kills the human spirit, not change. So when bad things happen, my wife and I, $26,000, bam, got hit by the IRS because my Apple stock that I cashed out, $200,000 that year, I cashed out. The taxes were not taken out. And we had used that to catch up, to help some family members, whatever. And $26,000 IRS is on my door. And we're like, what are we going to do? Back then, that was a lot of money. And we didn't know what to do. And normally this would have turned into a wicked fight and life would have ended and everyone would have been upset and blah, blah, blah. And we just said, stop. We can't change this. This is a life-changing event. Things will happen. What happened? 2017 taxes, we overpaid. IRS audited both of our times and said, well, you guys are $32,000 in arrears, in the positive. We owe you a refund. You paid too much in the previous year. That's why this offset, because you recorded this, but then you made more here. So therefore we're collecting more here, but you made less here. So we owe you a refund. So we wound up netting $6,000. Does that happen every time? No,
not at all.
But life is going to happen whether you want it to or not. So you might as well embrace it and start getting to solve, because worry doesn't do shit.
And then you learn to appreciate when those bad moments happen. The grass is a little greener. That sunset is a little brighter.
That's right.
And yes, you're not going to be able to change those things. Like, oh yeah, if I could change things, cool. I wouldn't have got blown up. That would be freaking awesome. But you can't change it. So you learn to grow with it, and you learn to appreciate things more, and the little things start to matter a lot more.
That's right.
Like, it doesn't matter like what car you have or any of that. Guess what? That little moment with your wife that you're going to remember forever, that's the moment you want. Your moment with your kids.
That's it.
Like,
that's it.
That's what matters. That's what you're going to remember. Not that you bought some freaking Lamborghini or whatever car that you wanted.
I don't know. Lamborghini was pretty fucking cool.
I'm not a car guy.
I'm not a car guy either.
But it's one of those like, but I can tell you the moment, like, because I know I've got a spot in my backyard where I proposed my wife and we got married there. Like, that's the kind of stuff, the little things we're going to remember. Really small. It was just our family. But it's just little things of every time we go in the backyard of a bonfire. Cool. I can remember that.
Yeah.
I can look at that spot and remember those things. Like, it's, or even, I mean, for us, it's Harry Potter. So, like, us going and doing something and relating it to Harry Potter, like those little things that you remember, whatever it is for you, those things start to matter more rather than anything else.
So true.
Like, get back to our normal values, remember the little things, and remember, yes, there are some bad people out there, but people are not doing things maliciously sometimes. So, like, get back to a point to where we have that honesty and we can try to do things to make people better, or even just saying hello. Like, I love where we live because going down the road, you just wave at people
all the time.
And like, you don't have to know them. You can just wave at them.
They flip me off.
Well, I mean, I would probably flip you off sometimes too. That's just how we are.
Yes.
But yeah, I can go to a different area and they don't look at each other. They don't say hi. They don't smile when you walk past them. And just that feeling is like, it's just not a community. Like, you're not accepted. To where out here, I think this is more of a blue collar, little more traditional place to where it doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to go by, you're going to say hello. Someone, you hold the door for someone, if someone needs help. Like, this is one thing I also can't stand about myself, is that with these legs, I'm extremely short. I have to ask for help to get stuff on the top shelf when I go to the grocery store all the time. It drives me crazy, but it's one of those, like, that's just a reality that you have to do. But the folks around here never make me feel awkward about it. Like, oh yeah, easy, here you go.
Yeah.
You need anything else? Like, it's easy. So,
see, I'll just tip it over and be like, there you go.
It's like, oh, you want this? Oh, good. Here, let me put it a little
put
higher for you.
A little higher for you. Take that. Let's last topic, and we'll put a button on this. We didn't get to some of the things today, and I don't care that we did. When we're talking about true self-reflection and true change, it's the only constant in your life. is there's no growth in that comfort zone. And I think I always hear from people is I couldn't do a show like this. I'm so embarrassed to come on. Then that's what you should do. And there's people who are like, oh, I'm so afraid to jump. Like I used to have a terrible fear of heights. And I was always afraid that something bad would happen and I would get hurt and I would take away my ability to be ambulatory. Well, it happened. And it was at a time that I actually least expected. The first time I jumped out of a plane, I went with a boot in my ass. And I didn't want to go.
You want to get off that plane?
No desire. My fight or flight said, "Fuck you. You're not jumping." And I tried. Jump. It's no big deal. You're going to be fine. No, I couldn't do it. And I went anyway. And the second time, the moment I landed, can we go do it again?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go again. And the third time, fourth time, fifth time, 20th time, 40th time. And the third time I went, and this was on requalifications on a jump of 5s, higher altitude, daytime, open landscape, fairly easy day jump. No big deal. Probably one of the most beautiful days I had ever jumped. And it was gorgeous. It was a great updraft. Soft landing going to happen. Beautiful. Not a lot of wind. It's great. And it just enjoyable. It's one of those jumps where, sometimes you're sweating, sometimes you're perspiring. It's a lot of gear. Then you jump and you get fucking cold in the middle of your jump. You start bleeding off all that sweat and you got that wind coming against your body and it can get a little tad nipply. And then other times it's too hot when you're jumping. And then you got the Three Bears effect. It's just beautiful jump.
Did you have any premonition on that day?
No clue. Okay. No clue. That's why it was so perfect, because it was the best jump of my life. It was just perfect. It was beautiful. It was great. I just loved it. I was excited. It was a great day. And I had no clue. And that's probably what happened, is that a life-changing event was taking place and I had no control over it because I didn't know it was going to happen. There's no way I could know it was going to happen. There was no sign. It's a wind shear. You had a pocket thermal, you had a wind shear, perfect storm. It's a bad situation. Nobody loses the canopy on their chute unless they have some sort of interference, unless they have a giant wind event, unless they get sideways on their jump. It just doesn't happen. But until it does, it's the last thing you think. You can't cut away. You can't pop another chute. You're too low. You just have to ride it out. And even when I was going in, I'm like, this is fast, but I'm going to be okay. I did everything that I could do. I'm going to be okay. I've literally had 7.5 to 8 seconds to think about it. Mm-hmm. Everything's going to be fine. And until it wasn't. And that rifle saved my life. And it took a tremendous amount of impact that was meant for my hips and meant for my back. Unfortunately, the trade-off was the stock of the weapon came across my face. And that's where a lot of the damage took place. Look at this fucking mug. You kidding me? If it wasn't for that rifle, I would have taken a lot of that impact on parts of my body I shouldn't have. But still, the parts of my body that were impacted, they broke. It's a life-changing event. And I am not going to sit here and tell you that I walked into it and was like, this is a life-changing event. I'm going to tackle it head on. You know what I said? Fucking woe is me. Give me the pills.
See, mine's very different.
Yeah.
I knew that morning because we had a satellite phone, and I had watch that morning, so I was calling one of my friends. I even said, I had a bad feeling about that day. I didn't know what it was, but I knew, there's something off about today. Today's not a good day. And that's when, on the way back, I ended up stepping on the bomb and losing my legs.
Huh.
But yeah, it was very eerie. And I guess going back to,
were you short timing or anything, or were you, were you short timer? Were you looking to come home? Was there an event?
We still had 2 months left. It was just a normal day, normal patrol.
You just got a feeling.
I just had a feeling that was going to be a bad day. Before going on the deployment, I just had a feeling I knew I'm probably going to get a Purple Heart. I'm probably going to get hurt in some way. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it's going to happen. But that morning, when I was talking to my friend, I'm like, you know what? Today's not a good, something's off about today. and it just happens.
That's where you want to lock yourself in your tent and have a sick day.
Yeah, well, you don't get to do those.
I know, it's a joke.
Still get to go out.
Little humor. Little humor.
Lock myself in my little warm.
Excuse me, sir. Can I use my counseling shit today? I need to go see the priest.
Here's my stress card for today.
Can I see the chaplain?
Yeah, no. So it's very weird to hear that because like, oh yeah, most people probably don't know, but I know on my day, and granted, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I still had that feeling like today's going to be the day.
The interesting thing is mine wasn't in combat. Mine was stateside.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends around me. Benning is it is summer school.
Mm-hmm.
It's called summer school. I mean, you always love airborne guys. Oh, so grueling. Okay, whatever.
But see, that's the thing, though. It's like we had many other days that we were going on patrols. We knew like the plan was to go get shot at. And
right.
we were doing things so it would happen, and I never had that feeling on any of those other days.
That's what's weird. But no premonition at all. And there was an investigation to it. Luckily, they were doing records, and they were doing high V8 record or high H8 hi-fi 8 recording. It's old VHS-C recordings. And they were doing camcorder recordings of the landings. So everything was on video. I've never seen anything like out of body. 7 seconds. I was like, I'm good. I'm going to be fine. I'm not coming in too hot. But depth perception at that altitude, it sucks. It's horrible. That's why you read your instruments. If you can't, it's like water is hard. Water jumps are really hard because you really don't know until it's too late that you're too low, too high, too fast, too slow. Well, there's no such thing as too slow. Unless you're doing targeted landing, but it doesn't matter. But with ground, you have good perception, but I didn't realize how fast I was coming in. I didn't. I was like, this is going to be okay. It's going to hurt. This is going to fucking hurt, but it's not going to debilitate me until I saw the video. And I was like, oh my fucking God, how am I alive?
Oh, so you do have a video of your landing?
No, I watched it one time.
Okay. So I have a video, and I think it's on my Facebook of, it wasn't me actually getting blown up, but it was me getting carried to the chopper to get airlifted out.
And you've watched that?
Oh yeah, I've watched it. I think I have it up on my Facebook. I don't know. It's somewhere that I have it.
Man.
But like when it's happening, like obviously I can watch it. It doesn't feel like it's me because I know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. Yeah.
I know when the stretcher is going, and this is probably gonna get a little graphic. So if you're queasy, sorry. My left leg was basically like it was gone, so it was mush to where when they were carrying the stretcher, what was left of my leg fell off. So they had to stop the stretcher, and my guys had to pick this back up and put it back on the stretcher, and then actually get me to where the chopper was.
Did anyone tell you to break a leg that day? Because that would have just been so apropos.
They did not, but that would have been good.
Hey, Mike, go out there and go break a leg.
Go break a leg.
Go break a leg, and you're like,
I'll
you come back and you're like, did it. Check
like,
mark.
Here we go.
Here it is. I took it above and beyond.
It's like, hey, you said achieve. I achieved.
I overachieved. Yeah, dude. And it's not like it brings back emotional because I don't remember it. I was out cold, and I didn't wake up for 3 days. I don't remember any of it. At least wake up in the sense, you know what I'm talking about. When you're in the hospital, they're pumping you full of drugs, and you may have sporadic moments of waking up in morphine stupor, but you don't recall. So I don't remember. I just remember the pin sets in my leg. I remember the wired shut jaw. I remember the pain. And the interesting thing is my back, which was the worst part of my body. I mean, the reconstructive surgery that they had to do for my jawbone. I mean, you can still see the scarring. It's right here. I always get it mixed up, but the lighting's really good. But if I turn down the lighting, you'll see there's an indentation where this entire jawbone is gone. There's nothing here. I mean, I can put my finger all the way through my jawbone. Now you're like, oh yeah, that's why I don't complain. I never complain about it. But the back didn't come up for 15 years. And you know, back then, I mean, even to get an MRI is like an act of God. Like Patton has to come down. He's like, here's your chit for an MRI. Good luck. Now MRIs are a dime a dozen, but back then, no, dude, there was like one MRI machine per state. I mean, you just didn't have that type of technology. They did radiographs, and the radiographs did not pick up the hairline fractures in the spinal column. Only problem is that I had 4 out of the 5 worst things that can happen to the human spine. I had degenerative disc disease, 3Ds, spinal stenosis. I had fractured and bulging discs. I had herniated discs. The only thing I didn't have is spinal cancer. So the 5 things that can go wrong with your disc or your spine, I had.
I mean, you should have tried a little harder. I mean, come on.
I did. I tried. I worked at it. So when that 15 years went by, it was less than 50, 10 years went by, and I was working at Game Crazy, and I reached down and I picked up one box with 3 Halo games in it. It was a transfer from another store. It weighed 17, 18 ounces. And I reached down and I picked it up, and all you heard was pop, pop, pop. It literally sounded like lady fingers going off. Maybe not that loud, but those little poppers.
Mm-hmm.
And my employee heard it, and I stood up like this, and then I went face first. Bam, out, just knocked myself silly. And my back failed, and I was down for 3 weeks with a back, and then that's what started the cycle. So for almost 12 years, just medication, injections, surgeries, everything I could do, and nothing worked. But that literally destroyed my spine, and that went unrecognized. I had a broken back, and I didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So things happen in life, and you can't control it. And all I can tell you is that when you think you shouldn't do something, I shouldn't go in front and talk. That makes me nervous. Or I shouldn't open up that business. Or I shouldn't get married because I don't have enough money. Or I shouldn't have kids because you're never going to. It's never going to be the right time. The right time is now. And I got to give something to Jason. Jason, from the one who did the flag behind you and me. And I haven't talked to Jason in months. And it's not because I don't love him. But I feel that Jason was relying on me too much for his dreams. And I felt like he was waiting to share it with somebody when the person he should share it with is Katie and his wife and him, because they had an amazing thing. And I don't believe he handed me the business or anything, but I think he was like, he felt like there was something else he had to do in his business to make it successful. And that answer is not me. So even though I was helping with the web design and we were working on plans together, I stepped back. And not because I felt that I didn't want to become a part of it, because who doesn't want to make flags for veterans and stuff? But to me, it was his thing, and he had to go for it because he was the answer. Yep. So I kind of stepped out. Now he's got his own business site that he just opened up. He's excited. He moved out of his garage, and he's doing the things that he needs to do to be successful. And I couldn't be more proud of him and excited for him. There is no time. There is never going to be enough money. And this podcast averaged 7 people on the live show for almost 3 or 4 months. And I could have quit and said no. But I didn't have all the money to do this. It started slowly. And you have to go for it. You have to do it. You can't wait, because there is no perfect time for anything. So when people say, I can't do something, that frustrates me, because you can. The question is, can you do it well? And the only way you're going to do it well is do it.
Yep.
And learn.
You got to learn. You got to mistake. You got to fail. And then eventually, if you put enough effort into it, it's going to go. I know one thing. Tommy asked, did I black out when I got hurt? If I did, it was only for a few seconds. So I remember everything. So at least my side of that is the folks that I know who had something traumatic happen to them and they remember it typically have done better with it, because they experienced it. It's not, they're taking a bunch of stories from other people and putting it together to find out what happened to them.
Yeah.
They actually know what happened. So granted, like obviously like my memory's going, so I don't remember all of it, But like, I know what happened to me. I know what I went through. I know who was there. I know who saved me. All those things that I remember, that's like all of my problems. None of it has to deal with that. Like, I'm at peace with all that. So yeah, sometimes you black out. I think it's better when you don't. You need to know what happens. But
last thing.
Yep.
My 1 minute, then I'm done. Then you do yours. Don't compare trauma, because you'll never win. Everybody's trauma is different. Everybody's trauma, like my trauma is my fucking upper body is killing me. I started working out harder and God, I'm torn up, man. I'm just like, I don't heal as fast as I used to. Anyway, don't compare trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that I can compete with Mike, with what he went through. So don't try. And everybody's experience is unique to them.
Yep.
And in your world, my event could be more traumatic or less, but that doesn't matter to me. What Mike went through doesn't impact what I went through. So when you start counting coup, don't do it, because share your experience. Just like service, if you joined, you don't need to pretend that you did something you didn't do. Your service is your service. And it's not your fault that there weren't any conflicts during your service. It doesn't make you any less of a man. It doesn't make you any less or that you didn't do your mission. Don't try to count coup on people. Don't try to compete with people. I love it when people come out here and go, oh, look at your show. You've got 170 viewers. You have 200 viewers. Like right now we have like 70 viewers on. I don't care. That doesn't define me, because everybody was here at one point. Ben Shapiro was here at one point. Bill Maher was here at this point. You don't just wake up and have 10 million followers. That just doesn't happen. And if you think this isn't hard, when you devalue somebody's effort, it's because you don't have the courage to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sit here and go, the reason why you go ahead and go, look at this guy, he's got 200 followers or 200 people are live. The reason why you do that is because you know you couldn't do any better. So you're trying to make fun of somebody else who has accepted this, embraced this, understand it's part of the journey, and you're trying to dequalify their effort. It makes me laugh. That's why I'll never make fun of a person who's in a gym who's 375 pounds. Good for you. Fucking go. When people are walking and they're fat, good for you. Those are the people, I will never insult them. But the people who pretend to be something they're not and sit there in a chair and judge other people like this fucking guy and attack people or victimize people or confront people, those are the people that I insult, because you hate yourself so much. Stop projecting onto a kid who has nothing to do with it. Mike, you get last word.
Well, yeah, for me, it's always one of those, if you have that overweight person who's in the gym, you should admire that. They overcame all their insecurities, all their fears, and they still went knowing they're going to see a bunch of people that are already in shape or are better shape than they are, and they still went.
Yeah.
For most things in life, all you have to do is show up. And that's the start that you need. And the other thing I would just encourage folks to do is that self-reflection. Once you start there and you understand what your strengths and flaws are, then you can grow. And you need to surround yourself by people who are going to love you, who are going to push you, but who are also going to call you out on your bullshit. Because I know that was the one thing that I needed. And I know that my wife and Matt helped with that for me. And that'll get you in a right place so you can actually grow and you can grow together. And I know what Matt was saying for the do something you don't want to do. I didn't know I want to do this podcast. I freaking hate speaking. I freaking hate public speaking. But this has been the most therapeutic thing for me.
It's so fun.
It is.
This is great. Isn't this fucking great?
It is. Like, we can have all these conversations, and then today we had another little mini therapy session. But it's like, this is how we grow. This is how we can share these experiences, and hopefully one person will grow from this, or one person can be like, you know what? I know who you're talking about, and I'm gonna go reach out to them.
Dude, I get the greatest emails that just this is why I do it. And you know what? I very rarely share them, and I'm not going to today, but it's you get those emails where people are like, dude, you saved my life, or dude, I didn't do anything. You did it. is stop giving away your credit. Right? That's another thing. Stop dismissing your success. Success is either by accident or by design. And if it's by accident, figure out how to replicate it. And if it's by design, keep doing it. But success is never, it just doesn't happen. You just don't fall. You don't walk outside and find oil in the front yard and go, there we go. Because that's not going to make you rich. You're going to have to figure out how to make sure that land is yours. You're going to have to get the rights and the deeds. You're going to have to bring in a pump. You're going to have a third-party company transfer it from oil to cash. You're going to have to know where to. There's a lot of, you just don't get rich. It's not the way it works. It takes time. It takes effort. Mike, loving the show today. Folks, go over to the Don't Unfriend Me show. You can get some hats, some shirts, some coffee at thedumbshow.com. We just added the Mike and Matt and Mike.
You see, we still can't say it.
Still can't say it.
There's a shirt with some names on it.
I can't say it, but I can
There's
make
only
the
two
shirt.
names, not three.
I can make the shirt.
Only two.
I can't say it, but I can make the shirt. Go over to thedumbshow.com. You can save 10% by using the DUM10 coupon code. DUM is important to do. Yeah, it's on the front of the site. You go on over.
And tomorrow's Veterans Day. Go thank a veteran, especially those veterans who are older. Learn their stories. Those are stories that we're not going to have anymore. It's going to be amazing. Like, go thank a veteran. Go ask them about their service. Those are stories that we need to hear.
And also real important. By the way, this shirt, comes in multiple colors. I think we have like 26 different colors. This shirt comes in. The Mike and Matt in the Morning shirt.
What is Black Heather? Why can't it just be black?
It doesn't have to be racist, but there is Dayglow Broncos orange. So
jeez,
they're good looking shirts, man. This logo comes out.
It pops very nice.
It looks good, man. It looks good. So if you haven't been over there, go to thedumbshow.com, pick yourself up that shirt. What there was something that you said that I was going to shit. I hit the music. There was something that you said that I was going to hit on. Doesn't matter. Stop by thedumbshow.com. We will be back Tuesday. Are you on Friday?
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow night.
Okay, so Mike has his new lights coming. Amazon will be delivering those today.
Hopefully.
No, it's today, damn it.
That's what you said about the mic stand.
Yeah, Mike stand's here. And Mike Flag is still a week out or so. So come on by Friday night. We'll see you then. We'll be on Spreely TV. Spreely TV people, do me a favor. If you're a Spreely TV watcher, and there are a few of you, you got to share this out. I know that the Spreely TV network is going to grow, but right now they are in transition. So do me a favor. You got to share this. You got to get this out. Go watch it over there. You can watch it on the website. You can go to thedumbshow.com, click on the live show, and you can watch it there as well. Thanks for watching. Mike, sign off, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
All right, everybody. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow night.
And that is pretty much it. I think if I can find...
find the right button.
Can't find the button.
Do not come.
Do not. Shit.
Do not come.
Where did the outro go? I don't know. Let me see if I can find it over here.
How dare you?
No. You just gonna keep playing those?
I'm just gonna keep pressing buttons.
There it
until
is.
you find the right one.
Good night.
Good night.
Granted, I know. Oh, I don't know.
Well, when I get some, I'll let you know.
You're doing fine. Let's see. Oh, I know. Are we still live? Yes. One more thing. It's Veterans Day, not veterans. Veterans. And also go kiss a Marine because it's their birthday too, and they don't get the attention that they deserve.
We need all the attention.
Veterans Day. Veterans Day, not veterans. 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 Good night, everybody. See you guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Go think a vet.